I'm Deborah Rodriguez. New clues in the search for Savannah Guthrie's mother, including a pair of black gloves found near her home in Tucson. Video from the New York Post shows investigators picking one of them up from the side of a road more than a mile away. The discovery after video footage from Nancy Guthrie's doorbell camera surfaced this week. Correspondent Bradley Blackburn.
The Pima County Sheriff's Department says thousands of new tips have been received since the footage was released. A neighbor says authorities questioned her about her home surveillance cameras, particularly from the night Guthrie disappeared.
They did ask specifically for the 31st of January and the morning of the 1st of February. And then they wanted to know if we saw anything suspicious on our cameras.
The search has now entered its 12th day. Fellow Ukrainians are voicing support for a skeleton racer who was ousted from Olympic competition in Italy today after he was given one last chance to remove a helmet, paying tribute to Ukrainian athletes and coaches killed in the war with Russia. He refused.
I think this is not correct because he, first of all, represents our country and he is a great sportsman. He didn't do nothing like illegal.
The International Olympic Committee maintains the helmet broke its rules against political statements in competition. It offered a black armband as an option. The EPA is expected to repeal the endangerment finding today, which underpins the government's legal authority to regulate greenhouse gases. CBS's David Schechter.
Greenhouse gases from cars and trucks, major drivers of climate change, will no longer face federal regulation after an announcement from President Donald Trump today. The move revokes what's known as the endangerment finding, is the EPA's legal basis under the Clean Air Act to curb CO2 and methane from vehicles.
New York's famed Waldorf Astoria Hotel is going up for sale again.
Its Chinese owners just reopened the hotel last fall after an 8-year, multi-billion-dollar renovation. The Wall Street Journal reports they will likely not get all their costs back. The hotel's 375 guest rooms and its adjacent restaurants and shops are expected to sell for $1 billion. The Waldorf's 372 condominium units will be sold separately. Several other Chinese property owners are pulling out of the U.S. as political tensions between the U.S. and China rise. Michael Wallace, CBS News, New York.
Want to stay sharp as you age?
Reading, writing, and learning a new language can help lower your risk of Alzheimer's disease and cognitive decline. A Rush University Medical Center study found that doing activities that stimulate the mind improve cognitive health throughout your entire life.
This is CBS News.
Real crimes, real justice. Follow and listen to 48 Hours on the free Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
It is 6:03, and we've got cloudy skies right now and 30 degrees in downtown St. Louis. I'm Debbie Monterey.
And I'm Tom Ackerman. A 58-year-old man is behind bars accused of killing a 28-year-old woman waiting for her coffee in the drive-thru at the Starbucks on South Grand.
Mitch McCoy says this was not Keith Brown's first robbery.
The first robbery occurred on February 6th, just after 1 p.m. in the parking lot of a fast food restaurant. The victim was in a drive-thru when the suspect approached the victim, robbed the victim, and then fired a shot into the air after the robbery. The suspect was reportedly wearing a bright reflective vest during the holdup.
The second robbery happened 2 days later at the Dollar General in the 4000 block of North Grand. McCoy says when Brown exited the store, he fired 2 rounds in the air. Brown was wearing the same bright neon vest that he wore Tuesday when he allegedly robbed and then shot and killed the woman at the Starbucks. Maria Kina, KMOX News.
The Metro Edge Skate Club says the victim, Sam Linehan, was one of its figure skating coaches.
A Hillsdale man pleads guilty and was sentenced to 7 years on Tuesday for a fatal shooting that took place at a Gravois Park gas station in 2024. That August, 38-year-old Kenneth Brown was killed after exchanging gunshots with Duran Roundtree during an argument. Roundtree was prohibited from having a gun due to a previous felony at the time of the shooting.
Sentencing for a May 2022 high-speed crash that killed 5 people on Delmar Boulevard. A St. Louis Circuit judge ordered 21-year-old Marshawn Stepney to spend the next 25 years behind bars. Stepney, after that, agreed to plead guilty to 5 counts of second-degree murder, and then the circuit judge ordered the sentence. After Tuesday's hearing, our news partners at Fox 2 spoke with the victim's family member named Jasmine.
Just
pray for us, my family. Just please give us strength.
Prosecutors say Stepney was driving a stolen Jeep that collided with a minivan full of 7 people.
Sadly, we're at an inflection point. The County Council has made significant cuts to our budget this year, which will lead to a reduction of services in several places.
St. Louis County Executive Sam Page announcing budget cuts are forcing the closure of the West County Satellite Office on Clarkson, as well as 2 major community pools, St. Vincent and Kennedy. While the county council argued their spending plan would only target administrative vacancies, Page says their $48 million in total reductions is now hitting core services.
I proposed that the council use the RAM settlement funds to bridge the budget gap for a year and put a ballot question in front of the voters for an internet sales tax, also known as a use tax.
The cuts come as the administration continues to push for a new internet sales tax to prevent further cuts.
Banks and credit card companies promised to appeal a federal judge's decision on Tuesday to allow Illinois' ban on credit card fees and taxes and tips to go forward. Nancy Hardy reports.
In her ruling, Judge Virginia Kendall acknowledged the law will require extra costs to set up a new process to parse out taxes and tips from the rest of credit card purchases, but says laws always require some kind of compliance cost. She did side with the banks in striking down part of the law that limited their ability to share data. The Illinois Retail Merchants Association called the ruling an historic win for Main Street over Wall Street. Meanwhile, a group of banks and credit card companies claims the decision will unleash chaos and confusion. It plans to appeal before the law kicks in July 1st.
Mixed reports when it comes to the economy from the KMOX business desk. On the one hand, massive job losses or job cuts last month with prices remaining high. On the other hand, the Dow hits 50,000 for the first time this week. Here's Commerce Bank Chief Economist Scott Colbert.
It is very true that the number of job openings is down a lot. And it's also very true that job growth has slowed. But the stock market is primarily driven by the earnings of corporate America. And, those earnings continue to grow as basically they expand their margins.
And corporate America's earnings have exploded.
I was just looking up at the Winter Olympics and was like, is that a helicopter they're showing on TV? No, that's slow motion of a ski jumper. It's unbelievable.
It is unbelievable.
What's going on right now on TV. We'll have sports coming up in 7 minutes. Traffic next at 6:08.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. After my husband died, the last thing I wanted to think about was money. Ethos made it affordable to get life insurance. Signing up was fast and 100% online. I knew that I could pay our mortgage and have food in the fridge. I could focus on my kids. No one ever tells you how much you're going to depend on that policy. I am so grateful we had coverage.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/save. That's ethos.com/save. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
With Fidelity Wealth Management, a dedicated advisor gets to know you and your goals to build a comprehensive plan to help grow and protect your wealth. Backed by a team of specialists, they'll analyze all your accounts, even the ones they don't manage, to keep an eye on taxes and provide proactive portfolio insights that can help you unlock your wealth's full potential. Learn more at fidelity.com/wealth. Investment minimums apply. Fidelity Brokerage Services, LLC. Member NYSE SIPC.
This is the story of the one. As the purchasing manager at a manufacturing plant, she knows the only thing more important than having the right safety gear is having it there when you need it. That's why she partners with Grainger for auto reordering, so her team members can count on her to have cut-resistant gloves on hand, and each shift can run safely and efficiently. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Well, good morning, kiddo. I love that you're home from college. I've missed you.
Still taking your Nature Made vitamins?
Every day. A multivitamin and a probiotic. You better be taking yours.
Still looking out for me, Mom.
I'll never stop.
Made to care for you every day. Nature Made, the #1 pharmacist recommended vitamin and supplement brand. Find us in the vitamin aisle, based on a survey of pharmacists who recommend branded vitamins and supplements.
This hour of Total Information AM is sponsored by Gamma Tree Experts.
It is 6:10. This is Total Information AM. I'm Debbie Monterey, along with Tom Ackerman and Frank Ladd in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, I told you about a stall earlier, eastbound Highway 70 near Lucas and Hunt. Looking at the camera now, it looks like they may have gotten that completely out of the way because traffic moving through there both directions pretty well. So not seeing any issues through eastbound Highway 70 headed towards downtown from the Lucas and Hunt area. Headed into downtown, delay-free crossing the Poplar Street Bridge, westbound 5564. Northbound 270, just a few more headlights and taillights now, ramping on to northbound 270 from northbound Highway 55. Northbound 55 through the road construction zone looks good as well through South County, South City, headed towards downtown St. Louis. Our next traffic update at 6:20, Frank Led, and the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Let's get the latest from AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
A nice day today with clouds and some sunshine, high 55. Partly to mostly cloudy tonight, though 35. Tomorrow, more sun and clouds and becoming milder, high 63. Saturday, cloudy and cooler again with rain in the afternoon and into Saturday night. Saturday's high just 49. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM KMOX.
We have clouds 30 degrees downtown at the Arch.
It is 6:11. Affordable, high-quality childcare is an essential part of the thriving economy, says Robin Phillips. The CEO of Childcare Aware Missouri is a featured speaker at this week's 2026 Economic Issues Summit in Jefferson City. She says employers realize how important childcare is, but they also need to address the problems that childcare providers face.
Their margins for running a business are incredibly thin. So they're doing the best that they possibly can. And it's hard for them to raise prices because then that is an offset to families. But that's the only way they can pay their staff a livable wage. So it's kind of a catch-22.
Phillips says almost every county in Missouri is considered a child care desert. There just isn't enough of it.
A Missouri business is being sued for selling illegal THC products made to look like familiar children's snacks.
The state has filed a lawsuit against Pressure STL in St. Louis, alleging the company sold unregulated and high-potency THC products without a license and packaged them to resemble well-known candies and snacks. The Attorney General's office says the products bypass Missouri's required safety testing, age verification steps, and regulatory oversight, and may contain harmful chemicals or unknown byproducts. The lawsuit filed under the Missouri Merchandising Practices Act seeks penalties and an order stopping the business from selling the items. Matt Pilger, Missouri Net.
The Pinup Bowl in the Del Mar Loop is under new ownership. The bowling alley and lounge was opened 23 years ago by Joe Edwards, who says the future looks bright with the ownership team. It's musician and radio personality Moon Valjean and restaurateurs Ben Strake and Rick DeStefan. They are the duo behind Tam Avenue Bar, Bird and Barrel, and the Tenderloin Room.
Strake says he met Edwards' daughter, Christine, playing pickleball a few years ago. And when Joe was considering selling Pinup, she mentioned it to him. Moon said he's looking forward to using his musical background and network to develop more collaborations within the community.
An on-court brawl forced an abrupt end to a basketball game involving Collegiate School of Medicine and Bioscience of St. Louis. The Monroe County Republic-Times reports the school's team was playing in Dupo, Illinois Tuesday night, and Dupo High staffers and multiple police officers had to break up the fight quickly. A decision was made to call off the rest of the game, and police escorted the visiting team members to their bus.
St. Louis City SC unveiled its 2026 road uniform with a nod to a late music legend with local roots. During a special event Tuesday night, the gold-colored jersey was unveiled and has Tina Turner's face on a patch and her signature on the back.
Then yesterday, the team announced the opening of an exhibit they're calling the Tina Pop-Up, located at the City Foundry. The exhibit features gold City SC merchandise and Turner memorabilia. It's open through February 20th. And don't forget, you can catch all the City SC matches on our sister station, Y98.
Tomorrow night, you can catch the St. Louis Billikens. They'll be in action at Loyola. The Billikens are 23-1. They're 11-0 in the Atlantic 10 Conference. They're the 18th ranked team in the nation, and they are the talk of the town. And quite frankly, the college basketball world right now. People are buzzing about SLU and what they might be able to do, but do not overlook the Missouri Tigers just yet. Trent Pierce scored a season-high 23 points on 10 of 15 shooting. Sean Phillips Jr. had the go-ahead dunk and a block in the closing seconds, and Missouri beat Texas A&M last night, 86-85 down in College Station to snap a 5-game skid against the Aggies. and string together 3 straight SEC wins. Mark Mitchell threw a lob to Phillips for an alley-oop dunk that gave Missouri the 86-85 lead with 17 seconds left. Rylan Griffin missed a 3-point shot 8 seconds later. Zach Clemens grabbed the offensive rebound, and Texas A&M called timeout. 4.1 seconds left, a chance to draw up a final play. Rashawn Agee took the inbounds pass, drove to the hoop, but his layup attempt before the buzzer was blocked by Phillips. T.O. Barrett added 17 points for Missouri. Clements led Texas A&M with 20 points on 8 of 10 shooting, and the win goes to Missouri over Texas A&M, 86-85. Among the games yesterday, an absolute beatdown of Kansas State by Cincinnati, 91-62. And after the game, Jerome Tang took his team's latest loss as close to the heart as it gets. According to NJ.com, he said the following: "This was embarrassing. These dudes do not deserve to wear this uniform. There will be very few of them in it next year." This is Kansas State coach Jerome Tang. He said, "I'm embarrassed for the university. I'm embarrassed for our fans, our student section. It's just ridiculous. We have practice at 6 a.m. tomorrow morning, and we will get this thing right. I have no answer. I have no words." Kansas State was in the Elite Eight not 3 years ago, but right now they are 10-14, 1-10 in the Big 12, and they have lost 5 straight games. In the top 25 yesterday, near upset for Northwestern. They were up 16 on number 2 Michigan, but ended up losing the game at home. Michigan wins at 87-75. UConn was trailing Butler early, came back, won it in Indianapolis, 80-70 for the 6th-ranked Huskies. There was an upset in top 25, and it was Virginia Tech beating Clemson 76-66 on the road. Clemson's ranked 20th in the nation. Florida's number 14. They've been looking pretty good lately. They won at Georgia 86-66. Keep in mind, Mizzou beat Florida. Again, that helps them for their NCAA tournament chances. Texas Tech wiped out Colorado 78-44. Games today, a pretty good schedule for the locals. You have Valpo at Illinois State at 6, Evansville at Southern Illinois at 7, Louisiana Tech at Missouri State at 7:30, SEMO visits SIUE at 7:30, and Tennessee Martin at Lindenwood at 7:30. USA Hockey, they play today. They'll play at 2:10 Central Time against Latvia as they get their Olympic Games started. And, of course, Matthew Tkachuk and Brady Tkachuk will be the feature for the United States. The 2 St. Louisans will wreak havoc for that team throughout the tournament. We'll keep an eye on a lot of them. Jordan Bennington's in goal for Team Canada. Colton Parayko is on that team. And watch out for Slovakia. Dalibor Dvorsky, the 20-year-old Blues young prospect, had the game-winning goal for them yesterday. I'm Tom Ackerman on the voice of the Cardinals and the Billikens, 104.1 FM, KMOX. We'll get an update from Matt Pauley from Jupiter, Florida in a half hour.
Hey, Happy New Year, big boy. Hey, what's up, Izzy? Also known as the Kool-Aid Man. You got any New Year's resolutions?
I got one, Eddie. I've promised myself to spend more time on that toasty warm, huge, heated outdoor patio of yours. It's nothing like having your coat off, drinking the coldest beer in town with hundreds of your family, friends.
Man, it is a toasted patio, and that's a great resolution. And, thanks for not mentioning things like weight loss and health kick. And those would be hard in Fast Eddie's. It'd be hard to lose any kind of weight or take away from anything when you got the 5-pound Fat Eddie burger, the hot chick on a stick, that Big Elwood on a stick, and those succulent peel-in-to-eat shrimp.
Yeah, I am not losing any weight hanging around your place. I learned it's a lot easier just to make those resolutions simple and fun, buddy.
Man, and that's easy. You're right. That's a great resolution. So make your resolution fun. And head on over to Fast Eddie's Bon Air. You know where to go across that big, beautiful Clark Bridge and come into Alton, Illinois. So like Mr. Shannon always said, if you're 21 and in the mood, we'll see you at Fast Eddie's Bon Air.
Kool-Aid Man.
Hi, this is Charlie Brennan. When you go to the Audiology Center, you'll see a doctor of audiology. And with us right now, Dr. Colleen Bosler. Dr. Bosler, what are some of the signs of hearing loss?
Well, it's a number of things. Sometimes loved ones notice a person asking others to repeat themselves, or the television is too loud. What people tend to notice first with hearing loss is the loss of clarity. They can hear people talking, but they cannot always understand what's being said. That's because the hearing loss can cause you to miss certain consonant sounds, and those consonant sounds give us the detail to the word. A hearing aid can help bring back those details and give you a sense of clarity that you're missing.
Dr. Colleen Bosler at the Audiology Center with 3 locations in the greater St. Louis area. Call for an appointment, 636-441-7470. Online, theaudiologycenterstl.com.
Now the news at 9, The Talk. The Chris and Amy Show on 104.1 FM KMOX.
It is 6:20. This is Total Information AM, and it's time for us to get you a check of the roadways and the weather. It looks like we're in for spring weather-wise. Hopefully we're in for a smooth ride this morning. Frank Ladd has the latest details on that from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Very smooth so far this morning, Debbie. Headed eastbound on Highway 64, taking a look at those cameras at Prospect and at Highway N all the way into the Boone Bridge. Not seeing any issues coming through Chesterfield Valley, eastbound on Highway 64, headed up towards Highway 270. Eastbound 70 looks good as well, coming in from out west, the Lake St. Louis area, passing Bryan Road, 370 up to the Blanchette Bridge, delay-free. No problems to report into downtown St. Louis. Westbound 55-64 up to and crossing the Poplar. Westbound Highway 70, crossing the Musial Veterans Bridge. Starting to see just a little more off the pace volume now. Northbound on Highway 55, just south of the River Des headed through those work zones, headed into South City. Our next traffic update at 6:30. Frank Ladd, the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
You know, Kevin Killeen once told us that February's gray and cold and nobody likes it. Well, something's happened here. We have clouds and some sun today with a high of 55 degrees. Tonight, partly to mostly cloudy, low 35. Now, AccuWeather's Joe Lundberg says tomorrow will be even better. Sun and a high of 63. Saturday, we will have to deal with some rain in the afternoon. It'll be cooler, a high of 49, but Sunday's high is 63 again. And Monday, sunny and pleasant, high 67. Currently, we're about halfway there. It's cloudy and 32 downtown at the Arch.
It is 6:22, and it's a location. That's one of the big complaints about a proposal for a data center complex in Troy, Illinois.
You know, if this is as profitable as they want to make it sound, or they're making it sound, then put it in established industrialized areas.
Derek Rammert with Troy Residents for Responsible Growth speaking on Total Information AM. The proposal from Cloverleaf Infrastructure seeks to put the facility close to Interstate 55 near a commercial area with multiple truck stops.
Troy had the stigma of a truck stop town. And, you know, not that that's good, bad, or indifferent, but Troy's done a lot better job in recent times of kind of shaking that label and being known as a bedroom community with a great school district.
Rammert promises the community will continue to push back. KMOX News reached out to the Troy mayor's office and Cloverleaf for comment. They have not responded. Megan Lynch, KMOX News.
The original drawings provided by Cloverleaf show the complex surrounding an established church and school on 3 sides.
Illinois lawmakers and advocates introduced a new bill yesterday that would establish guardrails to protect water and energy from the environmental impacts of data centers.
Lawmakers say data centers, which in part generate electricity to power artificial intelligence, represent the most significant threat to our energy grid in decades.
Big tech corporations are lining up cash in the race to build AI data centers across Illinois, and they are ignoring the concerns of local communities and snapping up dangerously large amounts of water and energy.
Jen Walling with the Illinois Environmental Council says Illinois is a top target for data center development, which is why lawmakers are introducing the Power Act. State Senator Ram Vili-Valam is sponsoring the legislation.
Through the Power Act, we would place prohibitions on cost shifting, introduce bring your own new clean capacity and energy, Beyonce requirements. We love our acronyms. Ensuring data centers power their operations with new, locally deliverable, renewable energy and battery storage. It's time for the state to step forward and act.
Carolina Garibay, WBBM.
Rise and shine.
Exclusive to the St. Louis region, Hardee's and Heat Up St. Louis partnering to collect money to help people who have difficulty paying those utility bills. And while there might not be a polar vortex on the horizon right now, it is still February. Heat Up St. Louis founder Gentry Trotter talked to KMOX about the importance of the nonprofit.
When they open up their bills this month, they'll remember January
and they'll remember February, and it's been pretty bad. So all you have to do is remember one thing. It's all about usage. If usage is high, expect your bill to be high unless you're on a budget. And I encourage people, whatever utility, be on that budget. Work with Ameren, work with Spire. On budget, they will work with you. There's all kind of payment plans.
But remember, if you do need help paying those utility bills, call Heat Up St. Louis. Rise and Shine starts at 6 o'clock tomorrow morning and runs till 10:30. You can buy a sausage and egg biscuit for just $1, and 100% of all the proceeds go directly to Heat Up St. Louis. All weekend long, you can donate. So they'll have canisters at the counters.
If you plan on drinking during the Mardi Gras Grand Parade, you need to have a transportation plan in place before that first sip. Captain Angela Dickerson warns the St. Louis police are working with state troopers to monitor all routes leaving the Soulard area.
Please do not drink and drive, or you will go to jail. Our Traffic Safety Division and Missouri Highway Patrol will be in full force. You should designate a sober driver now or use a rideshare service.
Captain Dickerson also says vehicles parked in restricted areas will get towed quickly.
It is 6:26, and the time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
Another sign of spring, Ted Drew's Frozen Custard is open. 6726 Chippewa. Get there. Ted Drew's Frozen Custard. It's time. The Heath Bar Concrete is my go-to during the year. And the summer, I like to go with what Travis Dillon, the owner, likes. I one time ordered that. They looked at me and they said, "Do you know that is our owner's favorite?" I said, I might have had some intel on that. It's peaches and macadamia nut. But I saved that for the summer. That's what he said to do. So I did. That's phenomenal, by the way. You'll look like you're an insider when you order that one. It's open Chippewa only right now. St. Louis tradition since 1929. Ted Drew's on Chippewa. 97th season. Offering concretes, malts, shakes, sundaes, floats, ice cream, sodas. Quarts are available. Ted Drew's isn't just a custard stand. It's an experience. It's a fourth generation family-run business built on quality, service, and a love for St. Louis. And yes, it is incredibly delicious. Ted Drew's Frozen Custard on Chippewa, 6726 Chippewa. Come check it out. Ted Drew's.
At the UPS Store, we know being a small business owner means holiday time is still go time. Still get those orders shipped time. And still re-up on stamps and supplies time. That's why this upcoming holiday, while others close up shop, we'll be open and happy to help you keep being unstoppable. Come into your local store today. Most locations are independently owned. Product, services, pricing, and hours of operation may vary. See Center for details. The UPS Store. Be unstoppable.
Hey, can you blow up some balloons for Jack's party?
I can't. I'm so congested.
You need Sinex Saline from Vicks.
Sinex Saline Nasal Spray.
Yeah, just Sinex. Breathe.
Sinex Saline instantly clears everyday congestion associated with colds and year-round allergies with a gentle, ultra-fine mist that's no mess and easy to control.
Daddy, we need more balloons.
On it.
Enjoy life's important moments without congestion. Try Sinex Saline from Vicks. Just Sinex. Breathe. Use as directed.
St. Louis has a voice.
This is KMOX, the voice of St. Louis.
That voice has shared our stories from headline to history.
The St. Louis Blues are the Stanley Cup champions.
From moment to memory.
Now there is only one Berlin.
Among those voices, Wendy Weiss.
We'll have more on a troop deployment to Bosnia.
Working at KMOX is an honor and a responsibility to represent this community. It's one we take seriously. KMOX, the voice of St. Louis.
Join us on February 15th at Powell Hall as the St. Louis Symphony Orchestra and St. Louis City SC brings us Eternal, a tribute to Tina Turner, presented by Purina, with special guests Brittany Howard of Alabama Shakes and Kennedy Holmes. Experience the ultimate journey through Tina's immortal catalog. Tickets are limited. Get yours now at slso.org.
Amy,
yes.
I have a real beef with bathroom doors in hotels. The stupid sliding door. No, give me a fully shut door, because the sliding door, you know what happens? There's always a gap.
There's a gap.
And so if you have a partner with you in the hotel room, there are sounds and smells and steam.
It puts a new meaning to the word butt crack.
The Chris and Amy Show, weekdays starting at 9 on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
It is 6:30, and we've got partly cloudy skies, 30 degrees in downtown St. Louis. I'm Debbie Monterey.
And I'm Tom Ackerman. Here's Frank Ladd of the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Tom, just seeing that pocket of volume headed into the work zone northbound on Highway 55 from south of the river to Pear. Once you make your way through past the river to Pear up through the work zone through South City, it's a pretty good run towards downtown St. Louis on northbound 55. Westbound 55-64 crossing the Poplar, no problems to report. Westbound 270 up in North County, delay-free as well, crossing the Chain of Rocks Bridge, headed towards 170. A little bit of volume headed towards the merge out in Wentzville, southbound on Highway 61, towards that merge with Highway 64 and Highway 70. I'm Frank Ladd with traffic. Our next traffic update at 6:40 from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
We have clouds and sun in store for us today with a high of 55 degrees. Tomorrow, 63 degrees. By next week, we'll be in the upper 60s. We'll have more details on that on the way. Right now, it's partly cloudy and 30 downtown.
It's 6:31. A state lawmaker from Southern Illinois says a late Sunday fight at the Pinckneyville prison resulted in one inmate's death and several others were injured. Senator Terry Bryant says no staff members were hurt. The Illinois Department of Corrections has not commented. The Pinckneyville Correctional Center is a medium security prison for men.
A 17-year-old will be tried as an adult for a grocery store shooting last fall. Xavier Ellis arrested for the homicide of 20-year-old Henry Armstrong. That shooting happened at in the afternoon at Schnucks in Wells Goodfellow. That was last September.
The Red Cross is experiencing both a regional and nationwide blood shortage. Ann Vastmans of the American Red Cross of Missouri says the organization is, quote, hurting for blood donations after experiencing a 45% drop-off.
There's several reasons for that. We're coming off the holiday season, so a lot of people were traveling, and they were busy with their families. And so donating wasn't really at the front of their mind.
Vastman says recent winter weather and the flu also contributed to the decrease. The organization is asking community members to donate, specifically donors with O and A and B negative blood types.
Yesterday was National 211 Day to raise awareness about community hotlines. The 211 hotline is a free confidential line that connects community members with housing, help with food insecurity, transportation, and disaster relief resources.
Kathy Vaseville is the Community Partnership Director with United Way of Greater St. Louis. She told Total Information AM the hotline received calls within an hour of the tornado last May and immediately connected callers with city disaster relief resources.
And we just continue to this day to be a resource for those survivors, whether it's continuing to have resources in our database to refer to or also supporting the local long-term recovery.
You can call, text, or email to receive a live member at the helpline any day of the year.
The news is sponsored by Michael's Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts, michaelsflooringoutlet.com. It's 6:33, and in just a minute, we'll get you your money report from Bloomberg. Stay with us here on KMOX.
What if every time you spent money, you saved money too? With Achieve It Checking from Together Credit Union, you can do just that. Every debit card purchase is rounded up to the nearest dollar, and the spare change goes right into your savings. And here's the best part. Together Credit Union boosts your progress by matching qualifying savings up to $8 a month. It's a free checking account that helps you achieve more automatically. Learn more, or better yet, enroll today at togethercu.org. Together Credit Union, federally insured by NCUA.
Hey, Cardinal Cowboy here. Who would have thought a car crash would have led to charities, TV shows, and cheering with the best fans in the world? I'm thankful for every day. And so are my friends at Renner Garage Door. They've been turning garage doors from zero to hero since 1966. With help from trusted brands like Deldon, Amar, and LiftMaster, honest family-style service you can count on. So giddy up and get your free repair or replacement quote today. Giddy up!
RENNER, RENNER.
It is 6:34, and it's time for your money report. It's sponsored by Eamon, Gantner, and Capriano, elder law attorneys.
This is Bloomberg Money Minute. McDonald's diners are saying I'm loving it to the fast food giant's value meals. Sales grew at the fastest pace in more than 2 years last quarter. More affordable menu items and value meals priced as low as $5 are allowing the chain to outperform the competition. McDonald's added that its recent Grinch-themed meal did especially well. Checking on your money, stocks are heading for a higher open this morning. Yesterday, the S&P 500 ended the day flat after a bumpy session with real estate stocks getting hit hard. S&P futures are up 16 points, Dow futures rising 135. And Americans are piling on the debt. Collectively, we have nearly $1.3 trillion in credit card debt, $1.7 trillion in auto loans, and a few $100 billion in personal loans. According to WalletHub, Maine had the biggest increase in consumer debt in the final quarter of last year, followed by Wyoming. Some tips in paying off your debts is negotiate lower interest rates. Courtney Donahoe, Bloomberg Radio.
Hey, let's talk for just a moment about the Spirit of the Southwest. That is the trip that we have put together that we're taking in September, and we want you to join us. 5 days, 4 nights. This is going to be an unforgettable journey through Arizona's most iconic landscapes. I've never seen these places before, and even if you have, it may be a good idea to check it out again. From the majestic Grand Canyon to the crystal blue waters of Lake Powell, the mystical red rocks of Sedona, this is a curated tour that blends natural wonder, some cultural discovery, and some relaxed exploration. We're going to ride that historic train to the edge of the Grand Canyon. We'll cruise through the towering sandstone cliffs. We'll just have an amazing time. And the best part is that you don't really have to do anything except log on to travelwithdebbie.net, travelwithdebbie.net, or call 800-383-3131. Secure your spot for this amazing trip that we're taking in September to Arizona. You want to get your spot before they're gone. And it is travelwithdebbie.net, a 5-day Arizona adventure. Please join us. We'd love to see you. Travelwithdebbie.net.
Attention all dog owners. If you have ever listened to the radio or TV for any length of time, you've probably heard of America's #1 dog supplement, Rough Greens. Greetings, naturopathic Dr. Dennis Black, Amazon best-selling author and founder of Rough Greens here. And if your dog suffers from bad breath, itchy skin, licking paws, joint pain, or low energy, the truth is their food is probably to blame. You see, all commercial dog food is dead food. That's why I created Rough Greens. One daily scoop gives your pup the live vitamins, omega oils, probiotics, and enzymes that will bring their food back to life. Don't believe me? Let your dog try it before you buy it. I'll send you a free Jumpstart trial bag, risk-free. You just cover the shipping. Go to roughgreens.com. That's RUFFgreens.com. Use discount code NEWS. Don't wait. Give your dog the gift of vibrant health. Order now. It'll be at your house in a few days. Go to roughgreens.com. That's RUFFgreens.com. Discount code NEWS for your free Jumpstart trial bag today. Rough Green. We make any dog food better.
Mozart's The Magic Flute comes to life in concert with the St. Louis Symphony Orchestra. Under the baton of music director Stefan Deneve, hear one of Mozart's most brilliant scores performed in all its richness, with the St. Louis Symphony Chorus and St. Louis Children's Choirs bringing its unforgettable characters to life. February 20th and 22nd at Powell Hall at the Jack C. Taylor Music Center. Tickets at slso.org.
Nothing makes a gathering great like Eggland's Best Eggs. They're just so delicious with better nutrition, too. For us, it's eggs any style, as long as they're the best. Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
This is the Gas House Gang from KMOX.
Bernie Nicholas and the Gas House Gang, today at noon on America's Sports Voice, KMOX.
It is 6:38, and the hunt for Nancy Guthrie and her kidnapper zeroes in on a black glove, among other clues, triggered by doorbell camera video released less than 2 days ago. We get more from CBS's Bradley Blackburn.
The Pima County Sheriff's Department says thousands of new tips have been received since the footage was released. A neighbor says authorities questioned her about her home surveillance cameras, particularly from the night Guthrie disappeared.
They did ask specifically for the 31st of January and the morning of the 1st of February. And then they wanted to know if we saw anything suspicious on our cameras.
TMZ is reporting there is another ransom note. The recent ICE actions in Minnesota are in the spotlight today, with the Senate Homeland Security Committee looking for answers over 2 fatal shootings by federal agents. Attorney General Keith Ellison and Republican Congressman Tom Emmer, among others, are expected to go before the panel. Back in the Twin Cities, it's not just the way protesters objecting to ICE policies are being treated that's raising concerns. An immigration attorney submitted a court filing about the way migrants are being treated inside a detention center.
O'Shea recalled seeing lots of food wrappers and trash on the ground. She also details a conversation with a woman who spent the night in her cell without a blanket. Second, several issues that O'Shea argues makes it tough for anyone detained to get in touch with a lawyer.
That is CBS Minnesota's Jonah Kaplan reporting. It is 6:40. Let's check the roadways and see if there's anything that'll cause you to be late for work this morning. Hopefully not. Frank Ladd has the latest from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
We do have some off-the-pace pockets, Debbie, but certainly no major slowdowns out there on the highways this morning. Ramping onto 270 northbound from 55. You've got your normal slow go there, a little off the pace approaching Gravois on northbound 270, off the pace as well between Big Bend and Manchester Road northbound on 270. North of there, pretty good run headed towards Highway 64. You do have those pockets of slow going through the work zones headed northbound on Highway 55 north of Revis Merricks, headed up towards the river to Pear, in pockets through South City, headed towards downtown St. Louis. Not bad, though, making your way past Highway 44. A little off the pace as well, westbound 5564 coming around the bend between the Highway 70 merge all the way up to the Poplar Street Bridge. Delay free so far coming in from St. Charles County, eastbound on Highway 70 between Lake St. Louis and the Blanchette Bridge. Our next traffic update at 6:50. Frank Ladd and the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
It's 6:41, and yes, it is February 12th. You might be wondering about that as we get this forecast from Joe Lundberg, our AccuWeather meteorologist.
Yeah, the typical high for the 12th of February, Debbie, would be about 45 degrees. We only got to 49 yesterday. Today, I think we'll do that several degrees better with clouds and some sun, the high 55. Tonight, a fair amount of clouds with a low of 35, but it will be even warmer tomorrow with more sun than clouds and a high of 63. Now, a storm will come out of the southern Rockies early Saturday, and as it moves eastward, it'll bring clouds to bear and probably some rain Saturday afternoon and into part of Saturday night. That'll probably keep temperatures in the upper 40s, but it's all rain. There's no snow, no wintry weather with this. Behind it, clouds should break for some sun on Sunday. We'll get into the low 60s, mid to upper 60s with some sunshine on Monday. Right now, it's 33 at St. Peter's, 35 in Florissant, mostly cloudy, 35 downtown at the Arch. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
All right, thanks, Joe. It is 6:42. A Chicago woman shot 5 times by U.S. Customs and Border Protection last October has filed a lawsuit against the agent who shot her and the federal government.
Homeland Security says Miramar Martinez, who's a Montessori school teacher born and raised in Chicago, was shot because she rammed into federal agents near 39th and Kedzie on October 4th. But Martinez's lawyers say all the evidence, including video, indicate that's not what happened. Attorney Chris Parenti says federal investigators have labeled Martinez a domestic terrorist.
To have your own government call you something as hurtful and as harmful as a domestic terrorist when you know you're not, is just unacceptable. And it's why Miramar instructed her team to continue to fight, to continue to push back against the U.S. Attorney's Office, to continue to push back against Kristi Noem.
And Miramar Martinez's lawyers say federal agent Charles Exum, the one who shot her, received praise after the shooting before it was even fully investigated.
Agents are, encouraged, celebrated, and rewarded for shooting protesters, right?
Assault charges against Martinez have been dropped, but she wants an apology from the Trump administration, and her lawsuit will be seeking tens of millions of dollars. Terry Keshner, 105.9 WBBM.
A former Illinois governor has provided an artistic gift to a Chicago museum.
It's the Art Institute of Chicago's first ever painting done by Norman Rockwell, and it'll be a home run for some of the city's baseball fans. Former Governor Bruce Rauner and his wife Diana have donated Rockwell's 1948 piece, The Dugout, to the museum, which plans to display it right across from Grant Wood's American Gothic. The piece shows pitcher Bob Rush, manager Charlie Grimm, and others reacting to a loss to the Boston Braves. It was even seen on the cover of the Saturday Evening Post. Rauner says it's his favorite painting of all time, but that now felt like the perfect time to gift it to the Art Institute. Andy Dane, WBBM.
Illinois lawmakers weighing changes to how sports betting is taxed and how it's defined in Illinois.
House Gaming Committee Chair Daniel Didick has introduced legislation to eliminate the per-bet surcharge placed on mobile sports books. The fee requires operators to pay 25 to 50 cents per wager at the end of each fiscal year. And according to Endgame, the surcharge has generated more than $62 million since it was added to the state's budget last year. Now, Didact is also backing a proposal to expand the definition of sports wagering. The measure would include prediction markets tied to games or even the individual player statistics. That means activities like trading or selling event-based contracts could fall under Illinois sports betting regulations. Glenn Marshall, News Radio 105.9 WBBM.
Setting boundaries isn't just a trendy self-help buzzword, it's essential for mental health. I'm Cooper Lawrence, health and wellness expert, and this is all well and good. A new book says that healthy boundaries protect your energy, relationships, and sense of self. Published by Taylor and Francis Group, the book's research offers evidence-based exercises for establishing these fundamental rules. Drawing from studies about post-traumatic stress disorder and chronic fatigue syndrome, the researchers identified key boundary types: respecting personal physical limits, protecting your belongings, but also emotional, time, and intellectual boundaries. All are areas many people struggle with due to fear of rejection or trying to be helpful, leading to overcommitment and burnout. Studies show the opposite is true. Setting boundaries actually strengthens connections rather than push people away. I'm Cooper Lawrence, and this is all well and good.
Just announced by the St. Louis Cardinals their radio and TV plans for spring training. The Cardinals announced that fans will be able to catch 29 of the club's 30 spring contests on either Cardinals TV, Matrix Midwest, KMOX, the Cardinals Radio Network, or MLB digital platforms. The spring training schedule consists of 28 Grapefruit League games, 2 exhibition matchups against Team Nicaragua at Roger Dean Chevrolet Stadium, and the club's AA affiliate, Springfield Cardinals, at Hammonds Field. Here on KMOX, we will have a team bringing you the games. John Rooney, Ricky Horton, Mike Claiborne, Matt Pauley. I'll be joining you as well from Jupiter, Florida, as we will have the games beginning with the Grapefruit League opener against Washington on Saturday, February 21st. Cardinals spring training games will be carried on the 168 Cardinals Radio Network affiliates, and KMOX is the flagship station. On the TV side, you have Chip Carey, Brad Thompson. Stephen Carey is going to join them as well as an analyst, and the new host reporter for the Cardinals will be St. Louis native Danny Wexelman. She will make her debut for 2 spring matchups. She'll share reporter duties in the regular season with Jim Hayes, who returns on opening day. All Cardinals home games. He will be in his 25th season covering Cardinals baseball. We will have Danny Wexelman on the Gas House Gang today to share in that announcement as the Cardinals talent for radio and TV is ready to go. We are very happy to be part of the Cardinals family, all of us, bringing you the games on radio and television, not to mention Spanish radio. And that's, of course, Polo Asensio and Benji Molina. They will be back again for another season, as Polo and Benji will carry games on WIJR 880 AM and 9 Cardinals Spanish Radio Network affiliate stations. The Cardinals are in Jupiter, Florida, and that is where we find KMOX's Matt Pauley with the latest.
Barring an unexpected power surge, the Cardinals are not likely to hit a lot of home runs this season. Manager Oliver Marmol says you have to look at the skill set of every player and lean into what they do well, and he's hopeful that could result in some more stolen bases.
We have different skill sets, and we have to be able to utilize them properly. And we do have some guys that can run. We have some guys that can run more than they have in the past. We got some guys that now feel healthy in order to do so.
No matter what any player's individual skill set is, Marmol is hopeful that each player will push their limit to see how much they can impact the club.
I want guys to figure out what they're capable of, even if it's on the side of making some mistakes. That'll play into shaping this group as to what they can truly be collectively, because we do have some athleticism and we have some guys that can add to their game in a way that could be extremely impactful.
Marmol specifically mentions Jordan Walker as someone he would like to see steal more bases this season. In Jupiter, Florida, at Cardinals spring training, Matt Pauley, KMOX Sports.
Mizzou wins at Texas A&M 86-85. 3 straight college basketball conference wins for Missouri. We'll go in depth on that at 7:15. This is the home of the Cardinals and Billikens, 104.1 FM KMOX.
Texting enrolls you into recurring automated text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
Hey, Dan, haven't seen you around the gym for a while.
Yeah, I've really fallen off. Since I turned 40, I just don't get the results I used to get.
Could it be lower testosterone?
Lower T.
Happens to most guys after 40. I was in the same boat until I started using Nugenix Total T2.
Total T2, the new one I've seen on TV.
Yep, it's the next generation testosterone booster for both free and total testosterone. It's packed with even more man-boosting power, sending nitric oxide levels skyrocketing in just 3 hours.
It actually works?
I feel like I'm in my 20s again. I've got more energy, better results in the gym, and things are even better in the bedroom. Send them a text and get a complimentary bottle.
Text now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T2, the #1 testosterone brand at GNC. Plus, text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our most most powerful fat incinerator ever, absolutely free. Text AREA to 369369. AREA to 369369. AREA to 369369.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
At LendSeek, we know running a business takes heart, hustle, and sometimes a little help. That's why we stand with you with our exclusive AI lending platform, connecting you to over 100 funders. If you've been in business for at least 2 years with a minimum annual revenue of $500,000, you can get up to $1 million in funding in as fast as 24 hours. No collateral, no prepayment penalties, no red tape. Apply today with no cost or obligation at lendseek.com. That's LENDSEEK.com.
Every spring brings promises, and every spring delivers surprises. This year, the Cardinals are writing a new story. There'll be plenty of surprises. Mac Pauley is in Jupiter with inside access to Camp Cardinals.
Presented by St. Louis Composting. Composting, growing gardens and making memories. And Happy Roof. We always create happy endings.
From breakout performances to roster revelations, get reports throughout the day on the voice of the Cardinals. KMOX. Now the news. At 1, the fun. It's the Dave Glover Show on 104.1 FM KMOX.
6:51 and time to check in with Frank Ladd and the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, Debbie, we're starting to get busy south of Flint Hill, southbound on Highway 61 up to the Highway 70 merge. Then 64 eastbound's busy passing Lake St. Louis. East of there, a pretty good run headed towards the Boone Bridge, Chesterfield Valley towards Highway 270. You also have pockets of volume this morning northbound on Highway 270 at Gravois. Back on the brakes again here, Big Bend up to Doherty Ferry and the Manchester Road stretch. Northbound 55, you got a little bit of a slow go as well. Make your way north, headed towards the River to Pear. Those delays start near Bayless up to the River to Pear. Then you've got pockets of off-the-pace volume through South City, through those road construction zones. Westbound on 5564, crossing the Poplar, a little bit of volume approaching the Poplar Street Bridge. Once you make your way across the Poplar, a pretty good run westbound on Highway 64 through downtown St. Louis. Our next traffic update at 6:58. Frank Ladd and the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg says sun high 55 today, mostly cloudy, low 35 tonight. Tomorrow, more sun than clouds and a warm afternoon with a high of 63 degrees. Currently, it's 31 downtown at the Arch.
The news continues at 6:52. Tributes are pouring in with condolences and memories of Dawson's Creek star James Vanderbeek, who died Wednesday at the age of 48 after a years-long battle with colorectal cancer.
James Vanderbeek led a generation through the tumult of teenage love as Dawson Leary, the title character in Dawson's Creek. The 90s TV drama turned Vanderbeek and his co-stars Katie Holmes, Michelle Williams, and Joshua Jackson into Hollywood stars. And the 1999 film Varsity Blues sealed his status as a teen heartthrob.
Vanderbeek was a 48-year-old father of 6.
The head of Instagram was on the witness stand in Los Angeles Wednesday in a landmark social media addiction trial. Adam Mosseri said the social media platform is akin to binge watching on Netflix.
It's part of a lawsuit against Meta, parent company of Instagram and Facebook, also filed against YouTube. The plaintiff claims social media was instrumental to her mental health problems.
Internal communications at Instagram that were presented as evidence in the trial underscored how the company was aware that its technology could encourage users into harmful behaviors, in particular children struggling with body dysmorphia.
That's tech analyst Ian Shear.
The founder of Sauce Magazine wins a $168,000 court victory against the company that bought the food publication. A St. Louis County judge ordered Christopher Keating and his company Big Lou Holdings to pay former owner Allison Mace within 30 days.
It comes after Mace filed a lawsuit last summer claiming Big Lou stopped making loan payments. Keating is also the former owner who sold off the Riverfront Times to new owners who've turned it into a porn directory website.
Consumers are drinking less beer. That's having a big impact on brewers.
Heineken will cut up to 6,000 jobs, 7% of its workforce, over the next 2 years because of an industry-wide drop in demand for beer caused by rising prices and consumers moderating their alcohol consumption. The Dutch brewer says beer sales were down last year in critical markets, including Europe and the U.S.
Heineken's worldwide sales volume, more than 1% last year.
I heard it's somebody's birthday.
Birthday excitement.
It's your birthday.
I think once we get people back to the ballpark, we can help them with those beer sales, beer consumption. 100 years ago today, Joe Garagiola was born. He passed away 10 years ago at the age of 90, but we want to remember him today and think about the St. Louisan. Boy, was he something on KMOX, Hall of Fame broadcaster, many years on NBC. He played for the Cardinals and others, made his Major League debut at the age of 20.
The birthday shout out is sponsored by Renner Garage Door, RENNER, forward and back, family owned and top rated, RennerDoorSTL.com. Happy birthday wishes going out to Jennifer MacArthur, Cassandra Walker Suggs, Warrant Officer Dan Rogers from your St. Louis family, Jeff Sachs. Happy 57th, Kelly Frank. Happy second birthday to Liesel Jane Unterberg from Babu and the family. And happy birthday wishes to Roger Brand.
Hey,
Roger
all
Brand
right,
taking the day off on his
go.
birthday.
As he should.
As he should.
Have a great day, Roger. It's 6:56.
This is the best birthday ever.
McKelvey Homes is 128 years old. They started in 1898. This is their 128th year. Isn't that something? Missouri's oldest home builder, and of course the best. McKelvey Homes has the reserve at Wildwoods getting a lot of attention. And we understand why. Park-like setting, front porches on every home, walking trails. You can walk to Main Street, Wildwood Town Center, top-rated Rockwood schools. Jim Brennan and McKelvey Homes, they've been building quality homes in St. Louis since 1898. These Wildwood homes are built with Pella windows and James Hardy siding that lasts. Limited home sites available. Visit McKelveyHomes.com before this rare chance to move to Wildwood is gone. The reserve at Wildwood, and they have 6 market-ready homes left at Summerlin and O'Fallon. And they're offering $10,000 free cash at closing, plus the lowest rate fixed financing of the year. Jim Brennan and McKelvey Homes. Talk to the McKelvey sales team about qualifying. Visit McKelveyHomes.com and move up to McKelvey.
I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. If you've been diagnosed with mesothelioma, call us now. $30 billion was set aside for meso victims. And in most cases, your claim is settled out of court without a jury trial. Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Join Mark Patrick Hypnosis. Lose the weight or stop smoking. Guaranteed only $59.99. Saturday, March 7th at the Residence Inn by Marriott, St. Louis Westport in St. Louis. Weight loss hypnosis starts at 11 a.m. Registration at 10:30 a.m. Stop smoking starts at 2 p.m. Registration 1:30 p.m.
It seems like this weather is going to continue. The cold weather is going to continue here in St. Louis and Illinois for the foreseeable future to finish out the winter. Now, if you have been unlucky or you don't want to wait till you're unlucky and you need your furnace fixed or even replaced, call me. We can get your furnace next day. Sometimes we, depending on the manufacturer, it's not us, but just depending on the manufacturer, if they have the parts available and here in St. Louis or Illinois, we can get you that day. But either way, if you're having problems with the furnace or you want to prevent problems with the furnace, call me, Bart Inman. One easy number, the easiest number in Missouri and Illinois, just one number. That number is 314-293-2600. Again, 314-293-2600, or on the internet, it's Bart Inman. That is Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com. God bless.
Let's check in with Frank Ladd in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, MoDOT just tweeted out a new crash southbound 141 just past Riverport Road. Reportedly, all lanes and the right shoulder are closed there. So use some caution headed southbound on 141. That's just south of Highway 70 near, obviously, the Hollywood Casino Amphitheater southbound on near Riverport Road there in the Earth City area. Headed northbound on Highway 270 this morning, not seeing any delays, any major delays, I should say, between 55 and 44. You are off the pace, though, headed towards Manchester, north of Doherty Ferry. I'm Frank Ladd with traffic from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
We have 32 degrees with a cloudy sky in downtown St. Louis. I'm Tom Ackerman, and these are the stories making news.
I'm Maria Aquino with what St. Louis police are saying about the shooting death of a 28-year-old woman on a Starbucks parking lot waiting for coffee.
I'm Debbie Monterey. St. Louis County entering what some call a first round of service cuts. More at 7:04.
This is AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg. Clouds and some sun today, high 55.
Baseball seasons, workouts for pitchers and catchers begin today. Matt Pauley with the latest from Jupiter, Florida at 7:15. At the Tone, it's 7.
News, talk, cards. KMOX AM St. Louis. KMOX FM Hazelwood. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
This is CBS News on the Hour, your home for original reporting.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. 12 days now since investigators began their search for Savannah Guthrie's mother, Nancy, and doorbell video released this week from the 84-year-old's home could be leading to new clues. Correspondent Jonathan Vigliotti reports.
FBI agents are fanning out across her neighborhood north of Tucson, searching the foothills through brush and along roads. On Wednesday, a source close to the investigation confirms to CBS News the discovery of a pair of gloves during a search, reportedly about 1.5 miles from Guthrie's home. Investigators will now test the gloves for DNA.
The Pima County Sheriff's Office says it's gotten more than 18,000 tips in the case. An internal dispute among government agencies may have ignited yesterday's chaos at the airport in El Paso, Texas. Transportation correspondent Chris Van Cleve.
Sources tell CBS News the closure stemmed from disagreements between the FAA and the Pentagon over testing a high-energy laser system designed to shoot down drones. Testing, the Defense Department argued, was urgent and would occur over 10 days. It appears the FAA did not tell other agencies it would close the airspace, kicking off a firestorm of finger-pointing.
The airport reopened just hours after the FAA announced a 10-day closure for special security reasons. One-day strikes by pilots and cabin crew at Lufthansa are holding up passengers. The BBC's Julie Parker from Berlin.
No figures have been given about exactly how many flights might be delayed or cancelled. But Berlin, Frankfurt and Munich airports are all warning of potential disruption. The strike is being held as Munich gets ready to host its prestigious annual security conference, attended by world, defense and business leaders.
We're just learning an investigation is underway after the USS Truxtun, a guided missile destroyer, and a combat support ship collided during a refueling at sea yesterday. A U.S. Southcom spokesman says 2 people received minor injuries. He reports both ships have sailed on safely. Samsung has started mass producing its generation memory chips to power AI.
The South Korean electronics giant calls its high bandwidth HBM4 chips an industry-leading breakthrough. Samsung says they exceed the industry standards for processing speed by more than 40%. The new chips will play a key role in scaling up the huge data centers that power artificial intelligence. The tech giant NVIDIA is expected to be one of the first buyers. The research firm TrendForce predicts revenue for the memory chip industry will surge to more than $840 billion next year. Michael Wallace, CBS News.
Dow futures are up 132. This is CBS News.
Real crimes, real justice. Follow and listen to 48 Hours on the free Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest. The last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your
windshield wipers? eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying. Just beautiful.
Millions of finds, each with a story. eBay. Things people love.
Staples presents That Was Easy.
So I own a coffee shop, and I wanted to label everything with our logo.
That's ambitious.
Cups, boxes, bags.
Ooh, that'll add up.
Not at all, because right now, Staples Prints custom labels are 30% off.
30% off? That's shockingly affordable branding.
Yep, now our logo and URL are seen all over town.
Brand your business for less at Staples.
That was easy.
Shop Staples in store, online, or in the app by 404 to unlock. Exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for discount.
It is 7:04, and we've got cloudy skies and 30 degrees right now in downtown St. Louis. I'm Debbie Monterey.
And I'm Tom Ackerman. In the news this morning on Total Information AM, A 58-year-old man accused of shooting and killing a 28-year-old woman while she was in the drive-thru of the Starbucks on South Grand is a convicted felon.
Prior to Tuesday's fatal shooting, Keith Brown was allegedly involved in 2 separate armed robberies on February 6th at a fast food restaurant. St. Louis Police spokesman Mitch McCoy.
The victim was in a drive-thru when the suspect approached the victim, robbed the victim, and then fired a shot into the air after the robbery.
And on February 8th, Brown allegedly robbed the Dollar General in the 4,000 block of North Grand. The suspect in both of those robberies was captured on video wearing a neon-colored vest and white hard hat, the same clothing the suspect was wearing in the Starbucks robbery. The probable cause statement says that Brown was convicted of previous robbery, but he absconded while being on parole. Maria Kina, KMOX News.
Friends identify the victim as Sam Linehan. She was a figure skating coach with Metro Edge Skate Club.
Prior to Tuesday's fatal shooting, Keith Brown was allegedly involved in 2 separate armed robberies on February 6th at a fast food restaurant. Here is St. Louis Police spokesman Mitch McCoy.
The victim was in a drive-thru when the suspect approached the victim, robbed the victim, and then fired a shot into the air after the robbery.
Also in the news this morning, families in St. Louis County will have fewer options to cool off this summer thanks to the budget battle.
The St. Vincent's Pool in North County and the Kennedy Rec Center in South County will not open this summer.
County Executive Sam Page says they'll remain shuttered to save the county roughly $300,000 in repairs and staffing.
From the KMOX business desk, Leonard Slatkin has a new gig. The conductor laureate of the St. Louis Symphony Orchestra is the new music director for the Nashville Symphony through 2029. It's not his first run with the Tennessee organization. He served as their music advisor on multiple occasions. Slatkin was music director at the St. Louis Symphony from 1979 to 1996. During that time, he earned 52 Grammy Award nominations with 6 wins.
It's 7:07, traffic and weather next.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. After my husband died, the last thing I wanted to think about was money. Ethos made it affordable to get life insurance. Signing up was fast and 100% online. I knew that I could pay our mortgage and have food in the fridge. I could focus on my kids. No one ever tells you how much you're going to depend on that policy. I am so grateful we had coverage.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/save. That's ethos.com/save. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
With Fidelity Wealth Management, a dedicated advisor gets to know you and your goals to build a comprehensive plan to help grow and protect your wealth. Backed by a team of specialists, they'll analyze all your accounts, even the ones they don't manage, to keep an eye on taxes and provide proactive portfolio insights that can help you unlock your wealth's full potential. Learn more at fidelity.com/wealth. Investment minimums apply. Fidelity Brokerage Services, LLC. Member NYSE SIPC.
I'm Dr. Colleen Bosler with the Audiology Center, and I'm talking with my associate, Dr. Adam Voss. What happens to a person's brain when they ignore their hearing loss?
There is such a strong connection between the ear and the brain. Ignoring your hearing loss can cause the brain to become lazy and the speech areas in the brain to shrink. This is partially why you can hear the words, but you cannot understand them. If a hearing loss goes untreated for too long, it may cause an irreversible change in the brain. It is incredibly important to have your hearing screened at 60 or older, or sooner if you're noticing difficulty. And the sooner someone treats their hearing loss, the better and quicker their brain will adapt to hearing sound again. Studies show that those who get hearing aids, even with a mild hearing loss, are much more successful hearing aid users as compared to those that wait longer.
So call us today to get your comprehensive hearing evaluation with one of our doctors. 636-441-7470, or visit us online, theaudiologycenterstl.com.
Are you turning 65 or new to Medicare? Humana knows not everyone has the same needs when picking a Medicare Advantage plan.
Now that I'm retired, I want to enjoy the life I've worked hard to build. So I want a plan that covers me when I'm traveling the country.
Humana has a plan for that.
As a veteran, I want a plan that fills in the gaps my VA coverage doesn't provide, like dental care.
Humana has a plan for that.
I feel good about my health. I just want care and coverage with predictable costs. No surprises.
Humana has a plan for that. With a Humana Medicare Advantage plan, you get coverage and benefits that focus on what matters most to you. Learn more at gethumana.com. Humana, a more human way to healthcare. Humana is a Medicare Advantage HMO and PPO organization with a Medicare contract. Enrollment in any Humana plan depends on contract renewal.
This hour of Total Information AM is sponsored by Gamma Tree Experts.
Let's get you caught up on traffic and weather. The weather is going to be quite spring-like. Can't wait to tell you more about that. Let's check the roadways right now with the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center's Frank Ladd.
Well, Debbie, motorists are easily getting by this accident southbound 141 at Riverport Drive. It's right at the intersection, and they technically do have the 3 lanes, all of the lanes southbound blocked, but you can make your way around it. There's light traffic through that area. So use some caution, give them a little bit of room to work there, making progress. It's southbound 141, just south of Highway 70 at Riverport Drive. Headed eastbound on Highway 64 coming in from St. Charles County, you've got your normal pocket of volume between Highway 70 and about the 364 interchange. Headed east of there, really good run. Make your way towards the Boone Bridge. Eastbound Highway 70, no delays coming in from St. Charles County towards the Blanchette Bridge. And your other pockets of volume are there, but they're certainly not bad. Northbound on Highway 270, now north of Big Bend in pockets up to about Manchester Road. North of there, not bad, making your way towards Highway 64. Our next traffic update at 7:20, Frank Ladd and the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg with the latest.
KMOX AccuWeather, clouds and some sun today with a high of 55. Partly to mostly cloudy tonight, though 35. Tomorrow, more sun and clouds and becoming warmer in the afternoon, high 63. Saturday will be cloudy and cooler with periods of rain in the afternoon into Saturday night. Saturday's high 49. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Right now, cloudy, 32 degrees downtown at the Arch.
It's 7:11. A state lawmaker from Southern Illinois says a late Sunday fight at the Pinckneyville prison resulted in an inmate death, and several other inmates were injured. Senator Terry Bryant says no staff members were hurt. The Illinois Department of Corrections has not commented. The Pinckneyville Correctional Center is a medium security prison for men.
Later this year, Illinois businesses will no longer have to pay credit card fees on taxes and tips after a federal judge upheld a new state law. But as Nancy Hardy reports, banks and credit card companies have promised to keep fighting it.
The Illinois Bankers Association and other financial institutions say they're deeply disappointed by the ruling and are again calling on state legislators to repeal the law they say will impose a major burden on them. Illinois is the first state in the country to enact a ban on swipe fees for the part of the credit card bill that includes taxes and tips. The Illinois Retail Merchants Association says those fees cost businesses and customers millions a year, and it hopes other states will follow suit. Legal battles prompted the state to push back the start date of the law to July 1st.
Advocates for young people in Illinois say a proposal for an increase in state spending on jobs for teens and young adults represents money well spent. We get more from political editor Jeff Buckles.
Researcher Matt Wilson from UIC's Great Cities Institute says the last time the country's overall unemployment rate was higher than 10% was at the start of the COVID-19 pandemic. That sparked trillions of dollars in economic stimulus.
Yet that threshold has been crossed for teens in 74 out of the last 78 years.
And Wilson says the effects of that systemic lack of employment are felt most directly by young people of color.
It reaches 81.9% for Black teenagers in 2024.
Jack West from the Alternative Schools Network is using this new study to help persuade state leaders to spend $80 million next year on programs to help young people find jobs, saying they can help bring down crime, teach teens social skills, and keep them in the workforce.
It's a good investment. It's a smart investment.
And now the trick is finding the money.
Ameren will build a new power plant at the site of a coal plant that was retired after years of Clean Air Act violations. The St. Louis-based utility got the thumbs up from the Missouri Public Service Commission to overhaul the site of the Rush Island Energy Center, building an 800-megawatt simple cycle gas plant along with a 400-megawatt battery energy storage system. The new project is being called Big Hollow, and Ameren has not yet said how much it will cost.
The Pinup Bowl in the Del Mar Loop is under new ownership. The bowling alley and lounge was opened 23 years ago by Joe Edwards, who says the future looks bright with the ownership team. It's musician and radio personality Moon Valjean and restaurateurs Ben Strake and Rick DeStefane. They're the duo behind Tam Ave Bar, Bird and Barrel, and the Tenderloin Room. Strake says he met Edward's daughter, Christine, playing pickleball a few years ago. And when Joe was considering selling the pinup, she mentioned it to him. Moon says they're looking forward to using his musical background and network to develop more collaborations with the community.
Trent Pierce scored a season-high 23 points on 10 of 15 shooting. Sean Phillips Jr. with the go-ahead dunk and a block in the closing seconds. And Missouri beat Texas A&M on the road last night, 86-85, and they've won 3 straight SEC games. Mark Mitchell threw a lob to Phillips for an alley-oop dunk that gave Mizzou an 86-85 lead with 17 seconds left. Rylan Griffin missed a 3 for A&M 8 seconds later, but Zach Clements grabbed the offensive rebound. A&M called a timeout, 4.1 seconds left. Rashawn Agee took the inbounds pass and drove to the hoop, but his layup attempt before the buzzer was blocked by Phillips. T.O. Barrett added 17 points for Missouri as they get the win, 86-85 in College Station. As for college basketball today, it's a busy schedule for the local teams that start in the Missouri Valley Conference. Valparaiso at Illinois State at 6, Evansville at Southern Illinois at 7. Louisiana Tech visits Missouri State at 7:30. Southeast Missouri State at SIUE tonight. An OVC battle at 7:30 in Edwardsville, and Tennessee Martin will be in St. Charles tonight for a 7:30 tip-off at Lindenwood. Let's now turn our attention to baseball.
St. Louis Cardinals Spring Training Report, sponsored by St. Louis Composting. Composting, growing gardens and making memories. And by Happy Roof. We always create happy endings on the voice of the Cardinals, KMOX.
Barring an unexpected power surge, the Cardinals are not likely to hit a lot of home runs this season. Manager Oliver Marmol says you have to look at the skill set of every player and lean into what they do well, and he's hopeful that could result in some more stolen bases.
We have different skill sets, and we have to be able to utilize them properly. And we do have some guys that can run. We have some guys that can run more than they have in the past. We got some guys that now feel healthy in order to do so.
No matter what any player's individual skill set is, Marmol is hopeful that each player will push their limit to see how much they can impact the club.
I want guys to figure out what they're capable of, even if it's on the side of making some mistakes. That'll play into shaping this group as to what they can truly be collectively, because we do have some athleticism and we have some guys that can add to their game in a way that could be extremely impactful.
Marmol specifically mentions Jordan Walker as someone he would like to see steal more bases this season. In Jupiter, Florida, at Cardinal Spring Training, Matt Pauley, KMOX Sports.
Cardinal Spring Training broadcast schedule is out. KMOX will be all over it this year. KMOX will be handling a number of the games this year, 18 on KMOX radio. We will also carry 9 additional contests on Cardinals.com and the MLB app. John Rooney, Ricky Horton, Mike Claiborne, Matt Pauley, and I will bring you the action on radio. On the television side, our team includes Chip Carey, Brad Thompson, and Stephen Carey serving as analysts, and St. Louis native Danny Wexelman steps in as the team's new host reporter. Wexelman will share reporter duties in the regular season with Jim Hayes, who returns on opening day and all Cardinals home games in his 25th season covering Cardinal baseball. The television situation at the moment, you have Cardinals.tv, MLB.tv, free to stream for fans with a valid MLB.com account. Games can also be streamed on the MLB app and Cardinals.com. And additionally, 8 of the Cardinals.tv spring telecasts will be simulcast locally on free over-the-air Matrix Midwest, which is channel 32 and channel 6 on Spectrum Charter. We will take a look at the Winter Olympics on the way at 7:45, including USA Hockey. Its opening game is today, highly anticipated. I'm Tom Ackerman on the voice of the Cardinals in Billikens, 104.1 FM KMOX.
Create the ultimate raised bed garden with St. Louis Composting. Our premium compost and soil mixes are perfect for filling the raised beds you'll enjoy building, and even better for growing fresh, homegrown veggies. Imagine harvesting your own tomatoes, peppers, and cilantro for fresh salsa the whole family can enjoy. And with delivery right to your door, getting started has never been easier. Visit stlcompost.com to order a convenient delivery from your phone in seconds, or stop by one of our 9 locations in the St. Louis area. St. Louis Composting, growing gardens and making memories.
Winter is tough on homes. Ice and wind often lead hidden damage you can't see from the ground. Don't wait for the first spring showers to discover a leak. Get the Happy Roofers Spring Readiness Checkup today. We perform a thorough, risk-free inspection to ensure your roof is solid. With our Spring Smile Guarantee, you get guaranteed workmanship and total peace of mind. We always deliver happy endings. Visit thehappyroofer.com or call 314-665-3001.
Hey guys, it's Dave from The Glover Show, trying to explain The Glover Show. So when I was a younger man, I used to go to happy hour almost every night, and I loved it. And I've always thought of my show as being like happy hour. It's always interesting. It's often silly, but not always. There are real things to talk about amongst friends, politics, and personal things. So that's what it is, really. It's happy hour for thousands of us every day between 1 p.m. and 5 p.m. And I hope you'll tune in and join the happy hour.
Total Information AM. The news continues on 104.1 FM KMOX.
It is 7:20 and time for traffic and weather. Roger Brand has the day off on his birthday today, so happy birthday, Roger. Frank Ladd is joining us from the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Thank you, Debbie. One of the emergency vehicles just pulled out off the scene here on southbound 141 at Riverport Drive. This accident right in the middle of the intersection there still technically has all southbound lanes blocked, but you can make your way around if you're in the median and in that turn lane there at Riverport Drive. Flatbed is on the scene, still not causing too many major delays, though. That's good. Headed northbound on Highway 270, you've got pockets of volume now at Gravois, back on the brakes again at Big Bend up to about Manchester Road, and just kind of sluggish through that stretch there. Stop and go in a short stretch northbound on Highway 55 at Bayless, headed up to the roadwork zone near the river to Pear, into downtown St. Louis, delay-free, westbound 5564 crossing the Poplar, westbound Highway 70 crossing the usual Veterans Bridge. Our next traffic update at 7:30. Frank Ladd, the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Clouds and some sun today, a high of 55 degrees, says AccuWeather's Joe Lundberg. Tonight, partly to mostly cloudy, low 35. Tomorrow, more sun than clouds, warm afternoon, a high of 63 degrees. Looking ahead to the weekend, we do have some rain, cloudy and cooler in the afternoon tomorrow. Into Saturday, I should say. Saturday night is when the rain's going to come in, high 49. Sunday, warmer, with clouds breaking for some sunshine and a high of 63 degrees. Currently, we have clouds, 31 downtown at the Arch.
The news continues at 7:22. More people in Festus have signed on to a petition for a special election about data centers than voted in the city's last mayoral election. The petition organizer is Erica Carter, who says she's never been a political person until she found out about plans for a data center about 500 feet from her house. Since then, she and others have collected signatures from more than 1,400 Festus residents.
Carter tells the Post-Dispatch many people had never even heard of a data center before this. They want a chance to decide before any are approved and are not happy. City leaders met with the developer in private. There's an ongoing lawsuit over officials discussing a 365-acre data center over email and text messages and not in open meetings.
Residents of Troy, Illinois say they'll continue fighting a proposal for a data center in their community. Development firm Cloverleaf Infrastructure had its eye on hundreds of acres near I-55 adjacent to a church and school and close to a community park. KMOX's Megan Lynch spoke with Derek Rammert of the group Troy Residents for Responsible Growth following a public meeting on Tuesday.
I understand that the mayor reportedly has said that the site that everyone is looking at right now is actually off the table as far as he's concerned. Do you feel, though, that's enough assurance, especially with your comments about transparency in the process?
No, I think it took a lot of pushback to the city. Again, we didn't feel that this was being transparent at all. We had to start showing up at meetings and really paying attention to what was going on recently just to figure out what was going on.
Rammert says residents are concerned about the proposal's massive footprint, power needs, and impact on the community's residential property values. KMOX News reached out to Cloverleaf and the Troy Mayor's office, but we have not received a response.
More data center news as Illinois lawmakers and advocates introduce a new bill that would establish guardrails to protect water and energy from data centers' environmental impacts.
Lawmakers say data centers, which in part generate electricity to power artificial intelligence, represent the most significant threat to our energy grid in decades.
Big tech corporations are lining up cash in the race to build AI data centers across Illinois, and they are ignoring the concerns of local communities and snapping up dangerously large amounts of water and energy.
Jen Walling with the Illinois Environmental Council says Illinois is a top target for data center development, which is why lawmakers are introducing the Power Act. State Senator Ram Vili-Valam is sponsoring the legislation.
Through the Power Act, we would place prohibitions on cost shifting, introduce bring your own new clean capacity and energy, Beyonce, requirements. We love our acronyms. Ensuring data centers power their operations with new, locally deliverable, renewable energy and battery storage. It's time for the state to step forward and act.
Carolina Garibay, WBBM.
A former Illinois governor has provided an artistic gift to a Chicago museum.
It's the Art Institute of Chicago's first ever painting done by Norman Rockwell, and it'll be a home run for some of the city's baseball fans. Former Governor Bruce Rauner and his wife Diana have donated Rockwell's 1948 piece, The Dugout, to the museum, which plans to display it right across from Grant Wood's American Gothic. The piece shows pitcher Bob Rush, manager Charlie Grimm, and others reacting to a loss to the Boston Braves. It was even seen on the cover of the Saturday Evening Post. Rauner says it's his favorite painting of all time, but that now felt like the perfect time to gift it to the Art Institute. Andy Dane, WBBM.
A Chicago woman who was shot 5 times by a Customs and Border Protection agent last October has filed a lawsuit against the agent who shot her and the federal government.
Homeland Security says Miramar Martinez, who's a Montessori school teacher born and raised in Chicago, was shot because she rammed into federal agents near 39th and Kedzie on October 4th. But Martinez's lawyers say all the evidence, including video, indicate that's not what happened. Attorney Chris Parenti says federal investigators have labeled Martinez a domestic terrorist.
To have your own government call you something as hurtful and as harmful as a domestic terrorist when you know you're not is just unacceptable. And it's why Miramar instructed her team to continue to fight, to continue to push back against the U.S. Attorney's Office, to continue to push back against Kristi Noem.
And Miramar Martinez's lawyers say federal agent Charles Exum, the one who shot her, received praise after the shooting before it was even fully investigated.
Agents are, encouraged, celebrated, and rewarded for shooting protesters, right?
Assault charges against Martinez have been dropped, but she wants an apology from the Trump administration, and her lawsuit will be seeking tens of millions of dollars. Terry Keschner, 105.9 WBBM.
It's 727 on 104.1 FM, KMOX. This time check sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
Always love checking out the testimonials at Ophthalmology Associates. That's how you know you have the great place to get your eyes checked, because patients know. The reviews are in, and Charlene says a sincere thank you for your excellent skills and dedication in giving me, your patient, the opportunity to see clearly without glasses for the first time in 64 years. Words can't express my gratitude. Doesn't get much better than that. Thank you for that, Charlene. Cecilia says, your staff at the office are both friendly and competent, and the surgery center very professional and caring. And Phil says the true test of a great physician comes with handling complications that may arise. I feel you passed the test with flying colors. As he was talking about his LASIK procedure, he had some of the complications, and one of the small percentage of people who experienced those, and boy, did he feel good about everything that came out of Ophthalmology Associates. Doctors Greg Birdie, Ranjan Malhotra, Robert Bersati, Andy Royer. Just go to youridoc.com yourself. You can read the testimonials and book an appointment. Youridoc.com.
St. Louis has a voice.
KMOX, the voice of St. Louis.
That voice has shared our stories from headline to history. Among those voices, Bill Wilkerson.
He fakes drop sets, looking, throwing upfield. It is.
Working at KMOX is an honor and a responsibility to represent this community. It's one we take seriously. KMOX, the voice of St. Louis.
Two St. Louis icons, one legendary tribute. Join the St. Louis Symphony Orchestra and St. Louis City SC at Powell Hall on Sunday, February 15th for Eternal, a tribute to Tina Turner. Presented by Purina, with performances by special guests including conductor Anthony Parthener, Grammy Award-winning artist Brittany Howard of Alabama Shakes, and our city's own Kennedy Homes. This is your chance to experience the ultimate journey through Tina's immortal catalog. Tickets are limited. Get yours now at slso.org.
Dreaming of college but worried about the cost? The Together Foundation is here to help. The Together Foundation is awarding 5 $1,500 scholarships to St. Louis area students who are ready to take the next step toward their future. Applying is simple, but time is limited, as applications will be accepted through March 31st. Learn more or apply at togethercu.org/scholarship. That's togethercu.org/scholarship. This community message has been brought to you by Together Credit Union.
Italian subs for your finance team in Chicago. Easy Cater. Burritos for your call center crew in Plano. Easy Cater. Bagels for your sales reps meeting clients in Charlotte. Easy Cater. Hot chicken sandwiches for your third shift warehouse workers in Memphis. Easy Cater. Your teams may be spread out across the country, but you've got one platform to feed them all, whenever and wherever they work, with food they love from favorite restaurants. Easy Cater. Food for the workplace, all in one place. Order now at easycater.com.
It is 7:30, and right now it's cloudy and 31 degrees in downtown St. Louis. I'm Debbie Monterey.
And I'm Tom Ackerman. We stream on X, on Facebook, and on YouTube. And Shirley says, first time to watch and listen on my iPad. Very enjoyable to see and listen to my favorite radio station. I've been a fan for over 50 years. She says, this is great. Now I know how radio works. Well, we appreciate that. If you want to join, you might not know that we video our studio on the air and during commercials. Frank Ladd knows that. He's in the overhead door company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
And I'm watching here at home. You got that beautiful picture behind you of the sunrise over St. Louis. Westbound on Highway 64 headed towards downtown St. Louis. You do have a little bit of a slowdown there at 159, all due to road work. West of there, a pretty good run, making your way towards downtown St. Louis and the merge with Highway 55 and Highway 70. No major delays crossing the Poplar Street Bridge. Northbound on Highway 55 so far this morning, you've got your normal pocket of volume approaching the roadwork zone from South County, headed into South City. You've got pockets of volume, not quite stop and go, though, northbound on Highway 270 between 5544 and Highway 64. And they're continuing to work on that accident southbound on 141 at Riverport Drive. The good news is it's over on the right shoulder, and a flatbed is on the scene to get that vehicle out of the way. Our next traffic update at 7:40. Frank Ladd, the overhead door company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
The weather is going to be really nice this week. The coldest day of the week is going to be Saturday, but it's still going to be close to 50 degrees. So today, clouds and sun 55. Tomorrow, 63. As I mentioned, 49 with maybe some rain in the afternoon on Saturday, but 63 Sunday, 67 on Monday. Right now, it's 31 downtown.
It's now 7:32 on Total Information AM on KMOX. In the news, St. Louis business is accused of selling illegal THC products disguised to look like candy.
The Missouri Attorney General has filed a lawsuit against Pressure STL, saying the company sold unregulated and high-potency THC items without a license and marketed them in packaging appealing to children. The lawsuit argues the products fall outside Missouri's legal marijuana rules and may contain unsafe chemicals or contaminants. The state is asking the court to stop the business from selling the products and to impose penalties. Matt Pilger, Missouri Net.
The majority of counties in Missouri are considered child care deserts. Robin Phillips with Child Care Aware of Missouri has been working with employers and lawmakers and is a featured speaker at the 2026 Economic Issues Summit this week in Jefferson City. What does it take to build Missouri's economy and labor market? Affordable, high-quality child care.
That's the number one barrier that keeps coming up, along with housing and transportation, but child care was always the top barrier.
Phillips says employers across Missouri are realizing that childcare is essential infrastructure and directly impacts workforce participation, retention, and productivity, key drivers of any thriving economy.
A mix of winter weather and a spike in flu cases dropped regional blood donations by 45%. And Vastmans of the American Red Cross in Missouri says the organization is, quote, hurting for blood donations both in Missouri and across the nation. Vastmans says donated blood could help patients beyond the region.
So our donations go wherever they are needed, and we have a really cool app called our Blood Donor app that shows you the journey of your blood. And so it shows you where your blood was used. I recently donated and I got a notification my blood was used right here in Missouri.
Police are asking Mardi Gras revelers to remember the people who call Soulard home. Captain Angela Dickerson says the department is looking for cooperation from the crowds to keep the historic neighborhood clean and secure.
Soulard is a residential neighborhood. Treat it like it's your own backyard.
Police are enforcing a zero-tolerance policy for underage drinking and warning that anyone caught drinking and driving will go to jail. They also say, please plan to have a fully charged phone.
The news sponsored by Michael's Flooring Outlet, the flooring experts, michaelsflooringoutlet.com. Money Minute next.
This is the story of the one. As an HVAC technician, he and his digital multimeter are in high demand. So when a noisy office HVAC turns out to be a failing blower motor, he doesn't break a sweat. With Grainger's easy-to-use website and product information, he selects the product he needs to keep everything humming right along. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Welcome back to Winter Hack Radio, the place for clever hacks to survive the season. Icy driveway? Well, try spreading sand or birdseed to help with traction. Snowy puppy paws? Well, grab a whisk, brush it off, done. Catch COVID-19? Well, just get...
Actually, there's no hack for COVID-19. But if you test positive, prescription medications for COVID exist. Ask your doctor if they're right for you. Visit PfizerForAll.com to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
It is 7:35 and time for your money report, sponsored by Busey Bank.
This is Bloomberg Money Minute. Artificial intelligence glasses are starting to gain traction with consumers, and the maker of Ray-Bans is riding the boom for wearable tech. EssilorLuxottica posted an 18% surge in revenue in the most recent quarter. The company says it sold more than 7 million pairs of AI glasses last year. Bloomberg reported last month that Essilor's project partner, Meta, is looking to double production capacity to 20 million or more this year. Stock futures are edging higher this morning, but there are worries under the surface for the markets. Recently, traders have been selling shares of stocks in industries they believe will be affected negatively by artificial intelligence. And the cannabis industry has soared in the past decade as more and more states have legalized marijuana. Sales across the U.S. reached about $31 billion last year, according to cannabis market tracker BDSA. That eclipses markets for tamer indulgences such as chocolate candy and ice cream. Courtney Donahoe, Bloomberg Radio.
This is the Let's Revitalize Our Neighborhoods commitment. This is the Roll Up Our Sleeves and Pitch In commitment. This is Busey, where our commitment to strengthen our communities is a top priority. Through energetic, engaged volunteers, through monetary support, community leadership, and advocacy. Because Busey is more than a bank that does well, we're a bank that does good. Busey Bank, building business, growing wealth, since 1868. Member FDIC.
Hey, Cardinal Cowboy here. Who would have thought a car crash would have led to charities, TV shows, and cheering with the best fans in the world? I'm thankful for every day. And so are my friends at Renner Garage Door. They've been turning garage doors from zero to hero since 1966. With help from trusted brands like Delden, Amar, and LiftMaster, honest family-style service you can count on. So giddy up and get your free repair or replacement quote today. Giddy up!
RENNER, RENNER.
Genesis of St. Charles, the number one Genesis dealer in Missouri for 2026, based on GMA sales records for 2025. No surprise, Genesis of St. Charles is your premier Genesis dealer. As a matter of fact, they are Missouri's first and only standalone Genesis dealership. Genesis of St. Charles, which is at 5601 Veterans Memorial Parkway, just off Mid-Rivers Mall Drive and I-70. A large selection of new Genesis models in stock, ready for you to drive home today. You've seen them on the road, and if you've always wanted to drive one, well, today's the day. Pop in there. Actually, first go to genesisofstcharles.com and unlock that e-price, and then go in. Every purchase comes in with 3 years of complimentary Genesis Service Valet, and I love that they don't mess around with pricing. No games, no gimmicks, just upfront pricing with that e-price at genesisofstcharles.com. You can buy online, let them deliver to you, but I would highly suggest you go in and test drive. Great dealership. genesisofstcharles.com.
Straight Realty has always been an industry leader when it comes to commissions, so it should come as no surprise that the recent Realtor settlement has only empowered us to continue offering our sellers even better rates. We now list homes for only 2%. Hi, I'm Christina Straight, owner of Straight Realty. Call me 314-441-4444. Why pay more than 2? You can also listen to my podcast on my website, straightrealty.com.
Commissions are not regulated and are negotiable. Straight Realty is a licensed broker in the state of Missouri.
Glover here for my friends at Cantor Injury Law. Cantor is local, and we're here doing the work every day. We're right here in St. Louis, and we're ready to fight for you. CantorInjuryLaw.com or call 314-628-9999.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be solely based on advertisements.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at LanceDruryLaw.com.
Hey, it's Matt Pauley. I'm in Jupiter, Florida, covering Cardinals spring training as the Redbirds get ready for a new season.
Listen for Matt's Reports daily. Sponsored by St. Louis Composting and Happy Roof on the voice of the Cardinals, KMOX.
In fact, we'll get his next report in 5 minutes. Right now, Roger Brand is off. He's celebrating a birthday today, and Frank Ladd is in at the Overhead Door Company St. Louis Traffic Center.
Hey, Tom, we're still seeing a pocket of volume westbound on Highway 64 to Illinois 159, all due to road work there. West of there, not bad. Headed towards downtown St. Louis. The Musial Veterans Bridge is a good choice this morning. Delay-free crossing on westbound Highway 70 there. We do have a pocket of volume headed out of the city westbound on Highway 64, passing Forest Park. Southbound 170 starting to fill in as well, south of the Parkway. That left lane approaching Highway 64 is a little heavier now. Northbound on Highway 270, no stop-and-go pockets now between 55-44 and Highway 64, but you are off the pace. It's sluggish in some pockets north of Gravois up through 44, then again between Big Bend, Doherty Ferry, and Manchester Road. You do have that normal slow go into the work zone northbound on Highway 55, north of Bayless, and eastbound Highway 64, you've got some pockets of volume passing Lake St. Louis. East of there, a great run all the way up to the Boone Bridge. Our next traffic update at 7:50, Frank Ladd of the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
7:41, and we've got blue skies and some clouds right now in downtown St. Louis, but let's find out what's in store for the rest of the week with our AccuWeather meteorologist, Joe Lundberg.
In a word, I think mild weather for the rest of the week and into the weekend, Debbie. We'll see clouds and some sunshine today, and we'll get to about 55 degrees. That's a good 10 degrees above normal. And partly to mostly cloudy tonight will settle in into the mid-30s. I think we'll see more sunshine tomorrow, and with it, more warmth. How about 63 to end the week? I like where we're going. Now, it does turn cloudier and cooler for Saturday as the storm goes by to our south. We'll get some rain in the afternoon and at night. Saturday's high 49. The clouds should give way to some sun on Sunday. And assuming that happens, we'll sneak into the low 60s. I think it's a no-brainer for Monday. Partly sunny, mid-60s, if not higher. We've got a shot at 70 at some point during the early to middle part of next week. Right now, 34 at St. Peter's, 36 in Florissant. We'll call it partly sunny, and 37 downtown at the Arch. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM KMOX.
It's 7:42, sports in 3 minutes. A possible clue in the search for Nancy Guthrie, the mother of Savannah Guthrie, hosted the Today Show. Authorities are looking into a pair of black gloves found near her home. They resemble the glove seen on the hand of the person on the doorbell video from Nancy Guthrie's home. Here's CBS News correspondent Jonathan Vigliotti with more from Tucson.
Those gloves could be a major break in this case. Sources telling me they're now being tested for DNA. The discovery coming after the sheriff says they have received thousands of new tips.
New technology may be the answer to some wannabe parents' prayers.
A new study in Nature Medicine finds new technology that automates the process of retrieving eggs may significantly increase the number recovered. Fertility experts believe that increases the chances of a viable embryo, resulting in the birth of a baby. Researchers say the process using microfluidity technology to sift through follicular fluid that would otherwise be discarded found additional eggs in more than half the almost 600 patients studied. Embryologists using the conventional method employ high-powered microscopes in their search. Deborah Rodriguez, CBS News.
That study was conducted by the Massachusetts company Auto IVF, which developed the new process.
As of last night, Pennsylvania is the latest of 24 states mandating schools teach the fading art of cursive handwriting. Here's CBS's Michael Toscano, who used a keyboard to write this story.
Governor Josh Shapiro posted he used his best cursive to sign the bill into law. Now, for younger listeners, cursive is writing by hand with the letters flowing in connected strokes, not printing, which uses individual separate letters.
Some of my daughter's friends just don't know how to do this.
Pennsylvania State Representative Dane Watra, who sponsored the bill, he said using cursive is proven to boost cognitive growth.
This is super important that all kids here in the Commonwealth are given this instruction.
The push for cursive writing is gaining momentum, with some states aiming for proficiency by the 3rd to 5th grade. Michael Toscano, CBS News.
The Southeast Missouri State football team is mourning the death of a player. The university announcing sophomore kicker Danny DeRay passed away early Wednesday. No circumstances were given. DeRay was a Chicago area native who transferred to SEMO from the College of DuPage. The school's football coach said the team is hurting and said, "We lost a young man who mattered deeply to our program and to so many."
An on-court brawl forced an abrupt end to a basketball game involving Collegiate School of Medicine and Bioscience of St. Louis. The Monroe County Republic Times reports the school's team was playing in Dupo, Illinois, Tuesday night.
Dupo High School staffers and multiple police officers were able to break up the fight quickly. The game was called off and police escorted the visiting team members to their bus.
Mizzou beat Texas A&M last night, winning on the road 86-85. The Tigers get a big day out of Sean Phillips Jr. He had the go-ahead dunk and a block in the closing seconds. And Mizzou won 86-85. Here's how it happened. Mark Mitchell throws a lob to Phillips for an alley-oop dunk that gave Missouri the 1-point lead, 86-85 with 17 seconds left. A&M missed a three, but got the rebound and called timeout. And then Rashawn Agee, with 4.1 seconds left, takes the inbound pass, drives to the hoop, puts up a layup, and Phillips blocks it at the buzzer. T.O. Barrett had 17 points for Missouri. The Tigers were led by Trent Pierce. He scored a season-high 23 points on 10 of 15 shooting, and Mizzou's won 3 in a row in the SEC. Now let's turn our attention to Cardinal baseball and KMOX's Matt Pauley.
As the Cardinals start to take advantage of their renovated spring training facility, it's become clear very quickly that it will allow more work to get done. Manager Oliver Marmol says something as simple as having more space and more stuff equals more work.
You just have more space, more tech, more. I mean, you look at the cages, you have the ability to do, like, you just didn't have the amount of cages and people to execute to the degree that you can now.
Even something like an expanded cafeteria where both major leaguers and minor leaguers will eat can have a positive impact on the organization.
Now you have a dedicated space for that. And I like the intermingling of big leaguers, minor leaguers in that cafeteria area. I think it'll lead to some really good conversations that were a little bit more difficult to have in the past.
The facilities are being used. A number of pitchers threw bullpen sessions yesterday, even though today is the first official workout for pitchers and catchers. Also, a number of position players were busy in the new hitting tunnels, even though the first full squad workout is not scheduled till Monday. In Jupiter, Florida at Cardinal Spring Training, Matt Pauley, KMOX Sports.
Cardinals released their broadcast schedule for radio and TV for spring training. They will have 8 games over the air on Matrix Midwest. That was announced this morning by the team. Matrix Midwest over the air, channel 32 and channel 6 on Spectrum. Cardinals.TV spring telecasts elsewhere will have games free to stream for fans with a valid MLB.com account. Live game coverage featuring Chip Carey and Brad Thompson. Stephen Carey serving as an analyst as well. And St. Louis native Danny Wexelman will be the team's new host and reporter. She'll share reporter duties in the regular season with Jim Hayes, who will have the home contests, including opening day. And, of course, on the radio side, we'll have John Rooney, Ricky Horton, Mike Claiborne, Matt Pauley. I'll join them for Grapefruit League games in Jupiter, starting with the February 21st game against Washington. That Saturday afternoon game in Grapefruit League play. We will carry games on our 168 affiliate Cardinals radio network as well. And there's Spanish broadcasters, Polo Asensio and Benji Molina, doing games on WIJR 880 AM and 9 Cardinals Spanish Radio Network affiliate stations. Want to thank Guns N' Hoses for recognizing 2 of the television crew and me yesterday as Brian Shapiro, the producer, Nick Thompson, the director of the Guns N' Hoses telecast on Fox 2. They recognized us, and we thank Guns N' Hoses. We love volunteering and giving time back to raise $1 million plus for the Backstoppers. I'm Tom Ackerman on the voice of the Cardinals and Billikens. USA Hockey today taking on Latvia 210. The Kachuk brothers will be featured there. The Gas House Gang at noon today on KMOX.
For 100 years, KMOX has been a part of St. Louis. Now, those moments live on, preserved, remastered, and ready to be heard again. Discover KMOX from the Archives, a podcast featuring classic audio from a century of service.
Sponsored by Overhead Door Company of St. Louis, the genuine, the original.
The KMOX from the Archives podcast, available now at KMOX100.com or wherever you get your podcasts.
Last month, my business cash flow got tight. Sales were slow. Invoices were late, and payroll was coming fast. My business is everything, and people rely on me. I can't let them down. I applied online at lenseek.com and had business funding in 24 hours.
Business moves fast. Don't wait until it's too late. Whether it's lines of credit, term loans, working capital funding, or revenue-based financing, LendSeek is open for business. Apply now at LENDSEEK.com.
Hi, this is Steve Butts with the Crawford Butts Insurance Agency. I know we're all experiencing sticker shock when you get your insurance premium. Now more than ever, you need an independent insurance agent to find the best value for your family's insurance needs. Crawford Butts, family owned and operated for more than 60 years. Please give us a call at 314-752-2500 or at crawfordbutts.com.
St. Louis, get ready. One of the most powerful voices in country music is coming to the Dome at America's Center on March 7th. Zach Bryan, live in concert. It'll be fun about those clouds, I'm telling you, baby. With the songs you know by heart. You can see them now. One night, one stage, an unforgettable night of raw, honest music. Tickets available now at Ticketmaster.com. For more information, KMOX.com/events.
Total Information AM on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
7:51, time to check in with Frank Ladd. He's in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Debbie, I'm watching a slowdown now, Highway 70 westbound on the Cary camera. So if you're headed 70 westbound and you make your way to the Cary stretch there, headed out of the city, you're going to run into some volume now, all due to an accident near West Florissant, currently blocking the right lane, right shoulder, as well as the left shoulder. It had originally been called out as Shreve. So can't see the accident on the scene, but can't see the backup. That's out of North City, westbound on Highway 70, approaching an accident at West Florissant. Northbound on Highway 270, you've got heavier pockets now between Gravois and 44, on the brakes in some stretches now north of 44 up to about Manchester Road, all the way up through to Highway 64. Southbound 170, you've got some volume as well, mainly that left lane from the Parkway headed down towards Highway 64. You're busy through the central corridor there. Eastbound on Highway 64 from McKnight up to about Big Bend. Westbound on 64, you've got that normal pocket of volume that starts at about Forest Park and extends out to about Big Bend, and make your way almost to Handley now, westbound on 64. Our next traffic update at 7:58. Frank Ladd and the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
And as for that weather forecast, Joe Lundberg says sun high 55 today, partly to mostly cloudy, low 35 tonight. Tomorrow, more sun than clouds, warmer afternoon, high 63. It's 33 right now.
The news continues at 7:52. Wednesday was National 211 Day, a day to raise awareness for community hotlines. 211 is a free confidential line that connects community members with housing, help with food insecurity, transportation, and disaster relief resources. Kathy Vassville is a community partnership director with United Way of Greater St. Louis.
When they reach out to us, they have a live person on the phone that is there to answer their questions, to provide support, and, to give them some hope.
You can call, text, or email to reach a live member of that 211 helpline any day of the year.
U.S. employers added a surprising 130,000 jobs last month. CBS News business contributor Javier David has a look at which industries posted gains and sectors that fell short.
We saw some losses in the transportation and warehousing sector. Those have been hit by tariffs, financial services, and government. But there was some good strength in areas like construction and manufacturing. And keep in mind, the latter is a really big part of the AI story with the build out of a lot of these data centers.
The January jobs report, initially due last Friday, was delayed because of a brief partial government shutdown.
Consumers are drinking less beer, and that's having a big impact on brewers. We get more from CBS's Jim Krasula.
Heineken will cut up to 6,000 jobs, 7% of its workforce, over the next 2 years because of an industry-wide drop in demand for beer caused by rising prices and consumers moderating their alcohol consumption. The Dutch brewer says beer sales were down last year in critical markets, including Europe and the U.S.
Rise and shine. Exclusive to the St. Louis region, Hardee's and Heat Up St. Louis partnered to collect money to help people who cannot pay their utility bills. And while there might not be a polar vortex on the horizon right now, it is still February. Heat Up St. Louis founder Gentry Trotter talked with KMOX about the importance of the nonprofit.
When they open up their bills this month, they'll remember January. And they'll remember February, and it's been pretty bad. So all you have to do is remember one thing. It's all about usage. If usage is high, expect your bill to be high, unless you're on a budget. And I encourage people, whatever utility, be on that budget. Work with Ameren, work with Spire. On budget, they will work with you. There's all kind of payment plans.
But remember, if you need paying utilities help, call Heat Up St. Louis. Rise and Shine starts at 6 o'clock Friday morning, goes to 10:30, which means you can buy a sausage and egg biscuit for only $1. 100% of all proceeds go directly to Heat Up St. Louis, and you can donate to Heat Up St. Louis all weekend long.
Happy birthday to a Rock and Roll Hall of Famer from Ferguson. Doobie Brothers vocalist Michael McDonald turns 74 today. The McClure High School alum was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2020 and the Songwriters Hall of Fame last year.
It's 7:56.
104.1 FM, KMOX. News, talk, sports.
If you need to sell a home, don't make the mistake that others have made. You just go with like whoever agent somebody sure, that's fine. And then your home sits there and it doesn't sell, or you're just not getting the offers that you thought you would get. Call Gloria Liu. Gloria Liu with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Gloria has helped thousands of families in her 23 years in real estate. She has a database of thousands of buyers in waiting, and that's how she can guarantee to sell your home. If you're talking to other agents, ask them if they will guarantee to sell your home and put that in writing. In fact, Gloria will sell your home at 100% of market value, or she'll pay you the difference. So she's serious because she knows she'll sell your home. All you need to do is call 314-325-6888. That's 314-325-6888, or find her online at gloriahasthebuyers.com. Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession date. When you're ready to sell your St. Louis area home, do your homework and call the expert Gloria Liu at gloriahasthebuyers.com.
At Uline, they know going the extra mile takes hard work. For companies pushing to go further, Uline will go the distance with you. 24/7, they answer the phone to get you the shipping and industrial supplies you need. Business can move fast. Unexpected large orders, adverse weather, new safety guidelines, and changing economic trends. Uline works hard, keeping 41,000 items ready to ship, minimizing detours on your way to the extra mile. Visit uline.com.
Straight Talk Wireless presents Pickup Truck Wisdom.
If you're only good to your new friends, you're not going to have any old ones. Straight Talk gets it. That's why new and existing customers get free 5G phones on Verizon's 5G network. Pretty simple, really. You keep good people by being good people.
Find us at straighttalk.com and Walmart. Straight Talk Wireless. Straightforward. Always. Taxes and fees apply. Plan purchase required for free phone offers. Copyright 2026 Verizon.
Join us on February 15th at Powell Hall as the St. Louis Symphony Orchestra and St. Louis City SC brings us Eternal, a tribute to Tina Turner, presented by Purina, with special guests Brittany Howard of Alabama Shakes and Kennedy Holmes. Experience the ultimate journey through Tina's immortal catalog. Tickets are limited. Get yours now at slso.org.
Join Mark Patrick Hypnosis. Lose the weight or stop smoking. Guaranteed only $59.99. Saturday, March 7th at the Residence Inn by Marriott St. Louis Westport in St. Louis. Weight loss hypnosis starts at 11 a.m. Registration at 10:30 a.m. Stop smoking starts at 2 p.m. Registration 1:30 p.m.
Let's check the roads with Frank Ladd, Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Tom, MoDOT now reporting the crash is clear westbound Highway 70 at West Florissant. However, we're still seeing those delays through North City, westbound on Highway 70, starting from near North Grand now out to about West Florissant. We did have a lane block there, so that's what really caused the issues. West of there, not bad, headed out towards Umsel on westbound Highway 70. Southbound 170 looks good as well. Making your way south of Olive. You're a little off the pace, just at the Galleria Parkway. That left lane is a little heavier now, approaching Highway 64. And northbound on 270, you've got your normal slow pockets now between Gravois 44 up through Manchester Road and Highway 64. Our next traffic update at 8:10, Frank Ladd of the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Today is Thursday, February 12th, and coming up on the next hour of Total Information AM, Megan Lynch asks how the Regional Crime Prevention Strategy actually works on the ground.
I'm Tom Ackerman. St. Louis residents owe millions of dollars in overdue water bills. We will tell you about a program to help them catch up.
The extreme bitter cold could be gone for the rest of the winter. We'll get the outlook from AccuWeather's Paul Pastelok.
Does Olympic apparel really give athletes an edge? We will find out from a slew expert.
This is AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg. Partial sunshine today with a high of 55.
Celebrating 100 years of informing and entertaining. KMOX AM St. Louis, KMOX FM Hazelwood, the voice of St. Louis.
It's 8 o'clock.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Pfizer.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. Possible new evidence in the search for Nancy Guthrie, the 84-year-old mother of the Today Show's Savannah Guthrie. Investigators have discovered a pair of black gloves not far from Nancy's home north of Tucson. They resemble the ones worn by the person seen on her doorbell cam video the night she was abducted. Retired FBI Special Agent Lance Lysing.
From the backpack to the holster to the potential weapon to the jacket to the flashlight in his mouth to the unique ski mask. But most of them have some unique characteristics that will absolutely be followed up on.
The search for Nancy Guthrie is entering its 12th day. We're learning the decision to ground flights in and out of El Paso Airport Tuesday night into Wednesday involved a laser weapons test that tried to take down a drone. Sources tell us it was actually a party balloon. Correspondent Chris Van Cleve.
This decision by the FAA to close the El Paso airspace for up to 10 days kicked off a firestorm of finger-pointing. Lawmakers want answers. The top Republican on the Senate committee that has oversight of the FAA says he wants a classified briefing as soon as possible to understand what happened and why.
Closure was canceled hours after it began. A CBS News analysis finds the number of detained immigrants giving up their cases and leaving the country has hit a record high. CBS's Katie Weiss from New Orleans.
From the immigrants that we've spoken to who have been in detention and some who have opted for this choice of voluntary departure, they tell me it's likely a factor of just how exhausting the process has become. They say that the conditions are terrible in some of these detention facilities, and it just becomes a point where immigrants want to have their freedom.
The Gallup organization says it'll stop tracking presidential approval ratings.
Gallup has been conducting its monthly poll on presidential performance for 88 years, but says it is shifting its focus to issues and policy polling. Gallup's decision comes as President Trump ramps up his threats against the media and pollsters.
They interview Democrats by big numbers and then Republicans by small.
Trump sued pollster J.Ann Selzer and the Des Moines Register after their poll days before the 2024 election suggested Kamala Harris had a 3-point lead in Iowa. Trump won the state by 13 points. Michael Wallace, CBS News.
There's new information on the leading causes of death for pregnant women in the U.S. CBS's Michael George.
A Columbia University study found accidental drug overdose is the most common cause of death, followed by homicide and suicide. Researchers say more pregnant and postpartum women should be screened for drug use and for signs of domestic violence.
Dow futures up 175. This is CBS News.
You still got it, but your immune system weakens as you age.
making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Sponsored.
It's 8:03. This is Thursday, February 12th. I'm Megan Lynch. A 28-year-old woman has died after being shot in the drive-thru of Starbucks on South Grand. St. Louis police say they arrested the gunman, 58-year-old Keith Brown, adding this was not Brown's first robbery.
According to police spokesman Mitch McCoy, armed robberies of the Dollar General on North Grand February 6th, and 2 days later, a person on the parking lot of a fast food restaurant were both Keith Brown's doing. In both robberies, a suspect fired shots, but no one was injured. That's not the case Tuesday when the 28-year-old woman was shot and killed while in the drive-thru. KMOX wanted to know why the surveillance video wasn't released following this first robbery, because in all the crimes, the suspect was wearing that distinct neon green vest and white hard hat.
Ballistic evidence also wasn't matching it between both crime scenes.
Even if it weren't two separate people, the fact that it was so distinctive, the clothing, and if you put it out there to the community, generally you get a lot of hits on that. So wouldn't you want to stop?
Maria, how often do you change your clothes?
It's besides the point.
But it is the point.
McCoy tells KMOX just because people wear those neon vests and work helmets doesn't make them a criminal. Maria Kina, KMOX News.
And friends did identify the victim as Sam Linehan, a coach with Metro Edge Figure Skating and someone who's worked at Sato and Yellow Belly restaurants. St. Louis police enforcing a strict no-carry list for anyone entering the Soulard neighborhood for Mardi Gras this Saturday. Captain Angela Dickerson says the goal is to keep the Grand Parade safe and manageable for the thousands of expected visitors.
To be allowed in the festivities this year, remember these 4 prohibited items: no cans, no coolers, no bottles, no backpacks. If you must bring a bag, please bring a small, clear, see-through bag.
Captain Dickerson says anyone carrying a backpack or cooler will be turned away at the entrance. A man facing charges after shooting his neighbor's barking dog in North St. Louis County. According to Bellefontaine Neighbors Police, 71-year-old Keith Mayfield repeatedly shot his neighbor's dog in the nose and mouth in 2024 while she was contained in her owner's yard. The dog survived. Mayfield is charged with property damage and a misdemeanor count of animal abuse. St. Louis County is shuttering its West County satellite office and 2 community pools as the county council's budget cuts take effect. County Executive Sam Page announced the closures Wednesday.
So let's be clear. These are not cuts that my office wanted to make. The budget that I sent to the county council would have allowed us to avoid all of these service reductions, services that residents enjoy.
Page says he pushed the council to instead cover deficits with RAM settlement money and institute an internet sales tax. A Missouri business is being sued for selling illegal THC products made to look like familiar children's snacks.
The state has filed a lawsuit against Pressure STL in St. Louis, alleging the company sold unregulated and high-potency THC products without a license and packaged them to resemble well-known candies and snacks. The Attorney General's office says the products bypass Missouri's required safety testing, age verification steps, and regulatory oversight, and may contain harmful chemicals or unknown byproducts. The lawsuit filed under the Missouri Merchandising Practices Act seeks penalties and an order stopping the business from selling the items. Matt Pilger, Missouri Net.
The Harlem Globetrotters 100th anniversary tour will have some Metro East flair. The legendary entertainers announced the signing of Alton High alum Tyon Trimble. The 5'7" guard will wear jersey number 43 and carry the Globetrotters nickname Trouble. Trimble played basketball at Parkland College and Dillard University after high school. Just in time for Valentine's Day, a woman finds a pocket of kindness and a cherished lost coat online. WBBM Radio's Andy Dane has her story.
On New Year's Eve of 2024, Abby Zuniga spotted a woman outside of an Illinois concert venue shivering with no coat.
I couldn't not help another woman in need.
Zuniga gave the woman her coat, a Carhartt her husband had owned since 2014.
He learned how to be a carpenter in it. He had a lot of life that happened in that coat.
After spending months searching online, Zuniga found the woman and the coat in a Facebook group, making for one special Valentine's Day gift.
The internet isn't always a terrible place, and there are pockets in there that can bring joy and happiness.
Andy Dane for CBS News, Chicago.
From the KMOX Business Desk, just announced this morning, 18 of the Cardinals' 30 spring training games can be heard on KMOX and the Cardinals Radio Network, beginning with the team's Grapefruit League opener February 21st against Washington. The familiar voices of John Rooney and Rick Horton will bring you the action. They'll be joined by Mike Claiborne and Matt Pauley on some of the broadcast. And for those looking to watch the Card spring training games, Cardinals.tv will carry 16 games at no charge. 8 of those will be simulcast on Matrix Midwest. It's 8:08, traffic and weather in 2 minutes.
There's a lot on the line in divorce. This is Joe Cordell of Cordell & Cordell, the largest family law firm in the country, with over 35 years of helping clients navigate divorce. Divorce touches all areas of your life: your home, savings, retirement, and of course, kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce, you need a partner you can count on.
If you are facing divorce, contact Cordell & Cordell today at 1-855-GET-LEGAL. The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements. 600 Kelwood, St. Louis.
Okay, I have to tell you, I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest, the last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the
designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your
windshield wipers? eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying, just beautiful.
Millions of finds, each with a story. eBay. Things people love.
With the new IHOP value menu, $6 is all it takes to go to your happy place, where stacks of pancakes with bacon and eggs are just $6 every day. French toast, sausage, and eggs are, you guessed it, $6. And fluffy omelets come with a side of pancakes and only cost $6. Go to your happy place every day at IHOP. $7 in some locations. Available every day for a limited time at participating restaurants in the U.S. Hours may vary. No substitutions. Not valid with other discounts or promotions. Prices may vary.
Barnes Jewish Hospital and WashU Medicine physicians have long been leaders in heart and vascular care. Now, we're taking the patient experience to another level by opening our new state-of-the-art patient tower, designed specifically with heart patients in mind. By combining the latest technology with thoughtful design and private rooms, heart patients can experience faster healing, reduce stress, and improved outcomes. Learn more at barnesjewish.org/heart.
This hour of Total Information AM is sponsored by Gamma Tree Experts. Total Information AM, Debbie Monterey, Megan Lynch, Tom Ackerman on 104.1 FM, KMOX.
Coming up on Total Information AM, a new crime prevention strategy in the region is focusing on high-risk individuals. How does it work on the street? I'll talk with Brandon Sterling, director of Save Lives Now. First, though, we need to get a check of the roads with Roger Brand. He's in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, we're back to being delay-free now. Westbound on Highway 70 coming around the bend at Cary. That earlier accident at West Florissant is out of the way. Still delay-free into downtown St. Louis. Westbound 5564 crossing the Poplar. Similar story westbound on Highway 70 crossing the Musial Veterans Bridge. We've thinned out as well northbound on 55 through the road construction zones through South County. Headed northbound on Highway 270 this morning. You're still going to see a pocket of volume near Big Bend up to about Doherty Ferry. Then sluggish north of there, making your way past the Manchester Road all the way up through to Highway 64. Coming in from St. Charles County, eastbound Highway 64, eastbound Highway 70, delay-free into St. Louis County. Our next traffic update at 8:20. I'm Frank Ladd, the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
A nice day today with clouds and some sunshine, high 55. Partly to mostly cloudy tonight, though 35. Tomorrow, more sun than clouds and becoming milder, high 63. Saturday, cloudy and cooler again with rain in the afternoon and into Saturday night. Saturday's high just 49. From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, I'm AccuWeather meteorologist Joe Lundberg on 104.1 FM KMOX.
Right now we have sunny skies, 37 degrees in Florissant, 32 in St. Peters, and 34 downtown at the Arch. A follow-up now on the regional initiative to cut violent crime. Save Lives Now uses a model tried successfully in other cities. The goal is to reduce shootings and homicides in the St. Louis region by 20% over a 3-year period. And that focus is on a small number of people in St. Louis City, St. Louis County, and St. Clair County, Illinois, considered high risk for participating in violent crime. I wanted to hear how it works at the ground level, so I reached out to Brandon Sterling, Save Lives Now Executive Director.
St. Louis is like a lot of other major cities. A very small group of people drive most violent crime.
I think if people knew how small that number was, they'd actually be pretty surprised. We did a problem analysis about a couple of years ago and estimated that what we would call high-risk individuals, people who are most likely to shoot or be shot, that number only totaled 1,150 people. I'd give you a rough estimate for people under 18, that's about 150. But focusing on those folks does a lot of things. I think for those in the community that are obviously concerned about violent crime, but don't want to see certain communities or groups of people stigmatized, it drives home the point that the vast majority of us are law-abiding citizens, right? So that's super important. I think from a logistical standpoint, it's a refreshing number because it also tells us that we can make a dent in this, right? It's actually manageable. So when you think about that 1,100 plus people, they constitute, I think the latest number is like 0.18 or 0.19% of the population. And we know a lot about them. We know a lot about them based on research. We know that they are people who have typically experienced trauma and violence before. They might have been socialized or even compelled to adopt that as a part of their life based on something that themselves, a family member, or a group association has experienced. We know that they've also probably experienced generational poverty. So there's a range of predictors there. And it's also worth noting that those who are most likely to be shot share some of the same demographics with those who do the shooting. Here in St. Louis, most violence is what I would call decentralized in that there are group associations, but they're not like in the movies. So, you know, gangs or groups of people are small. And most violence is actually occurring between people that know each other or, again, have some group associations. The degrees of separation are pretty small.
Let's talk about the individuals that are doing the outreach. Where do you find these interventionists? What are their specialties?
So we're talking specifically about street outreach. You'll hear a lot of language, credible messengers. I like to say people with lived experience, which is just a subtle way of saying these are people that have endured violence in their life. They may have actually participated in the past and found a way out. They know these communities. Their word means something. Their commitment to serving means something. I think I also try to remind people a lot that when you think of high-risk individuals, many of them were given up way before they got involved in violence.
So what's that initial message? And then how does it translate into ultimately trying to turn someone's life in a different direction?
So keep in mind, Save Lives Now is really composed of 3 interventions. So that message from street outreach workers is very much aligned with that. Hey, we understand that there's a tremendous amount of pressure on you to be involved in violence. We understand that you might be traumatized and you may have experienced things that are hard to let go of. We also understand that you may have been counted out early in life. And you may have also been promised things, right, that weren't delivered on. I think a big part of violence reduction work is under-promising and over-delivering and being careful about how you show up for people. So we talk about relentless engagement, not giving up on people. We talk about being very careful in helping people articulate what they want, not what we want for them, right? So do you want to go back to school? Do you want a job? Do you want to live in another community, right? Whatever that answer is, then that street interventionist, in addition to making a commitment to getting to know that person and try to establish a long-term relationship, they're going to begin to look for resources based on what that person articulates their needs are. But this is not about preaching to people. It's not about scaring people. It's about helping them arrive at better choices that they can live with and that they know they can be successful at. When we talk about the other interventions, and there is some overlap, let's talk about CBT, or cognitive behavioral theory. It's a behavioral health tool. It's designed for non-clinicians. And today, I'd say we have about 150 people trained in the city and the county in that intervention. That includes street interventionists, doctors, nurses, caseworkers. If you walk into a workforce development agency, someplace that would help you gain job skills and look for a job, employment specialists are now taking that on. In a month or so, we'll have about 30 police officers trained in that. And CBT works along that same vein. It's broken into 7 skill sets, but at its bare essence, it does a few things. Help you identify your emotional triggers, help you identify your trauma, help you learn how to pause when you're mid-crisis. Think about those triggers, think about what you actually want, and whether or not what you would typically do helps and aids you in getting to where you want to go or puts you right back where you started.
That is Brandon Sterling, director of Save Lives Now. Sterling says that St. Louis City is well underway with street outreach and plans to add focused deterrence next. St. Louis County has started focused deterrence with one-on-one law enforcement engagement with high-risk individuals, and St. Clair County expects to begin focused deterrence by summer. Sterling says they are planning more community meetings in the future so they can provide updates to the public. Still ahead on Total Information AM, St. Louis residents owe millions of dollars in overdue water bills. We'll tell you about a program to help them catch up. That's next. It's 8:20. Let's see if you can get to work on time. Roger Brand is in the overhead door company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Megan Modat is reporting a stall eastbound on Highway 64 near Grand, blocking the left lane, but I'm not seeing any slowdowns. Looking at the camera there, it's a pretty good run through there into downtown St. Louis. Southbound on 170, you've got your pocket of volume now near Galleria Parkway, ramping onto 64 eastbound. We continue to thin out northbound on Highway 270 this morning between 55 and Highway 44. You do have that normal slow stretch north of Big Bend, headed up through Doherty Ferry, Manchester, through Ladue Road, northbound on Highway 270, passing Highway 64. North County delay-free west and eastbound Highway 270, starting at the Chain of Rocks Bridge and ending at 170. Our next traffic update at 8:30. Frank Ladd, the overhead door company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Thank you, Frank. And checking that forecast for today, clouds with some sun, a high of 55, partly to mostly cloudy tonight with an overnight low of 35. And then tomorrow, more sun than clouds, a warmer afternoon, a high 63. Right now, we have sunny skies, 34 degrees downtown at the Arch.
My name is Whitney Allen, and I'm a widow. After my husband died, the last thing I wanted to think about was money. Ethos made it affordable to get life insurance. Signing up was fast and 100% online. I knew that I could pay our mortgage and have food in the fridge. I could focus on my kids. No one ever tells you how much you're going to depend on that policy. I am so grateful we had coverage.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/save. That's ethos.com/save. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
With Fidelity Wealth Management, a dedicated advisor gets to know you and your goals to build a comprehensive plan to help grow and protect your wealth. Backed by a team of specialists, they'll analyze all your accounts, even the ones they don't manage, to keep an eye on taxes and provide proactive portfolio insights that can help you unlock your wealth's full potential. Learn more at fidelity.com/wealth. Investment minimums apply. Fidelity Brokerage Services, LLC. Member NYSE SIPC.
This is the story of the one. As the purchasing manager at a manufacturing plant, she knows the only thing more important than having the right safety gear is having it there when you need it. That's why she partners with Grainger for auto reordering, so her team members can count on her to have cut-resistant gloves on hand, and each shift can run safely and efficiently. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
I can't believe how spotless my floors look after using the Swiffer Power Mop. No more dragging around a heavy mop and messy bucket. Now I get the same deep clean without all the work. Thanks to the powerful solution and scrubbing pad of the Swiffer Power Mop, Dirt and grime don't stand a chance, and I don't break a sweat. Mic drop. I mean, mop drop.
Swift for Power Mop. Swift for Power Mop.
A smarter way to mop. Try it or your money back.
Start the new year off on a healthier note by taking active liver supplements from New Nordic every day. Available online at Amazon or newnordicusa.com or at your local CVS, ShopRite, Meijer Grocery, or Wegmans.
You're back with Total Information AM. I'm Megan Lynch. During the pandemic, the city of St. Louis put a moratorium on water shutoffs for residents who couldn't pay and then deferred payment. Last fall, that was lifted, but thousands of residents are still past due. A new program is offering to help those with old bills. Special Assistant to the Director, Spencer Gould, City of St. Louis Water Division, joining us now. Spencer, thank you so much for your time this morning.
Yeah, thank you so much for having us.
So how much is owed to the city in overdue payments?
We've got about $14 million in delinquent funds. It's spread between residents and businesses, but it's primarily residents.
And I guess a lot of this does date back to the pandemic.
Yeah, but there was a moratorium on shuts in 2020, and since then we've seen that number increase. Yeah.
So, Spencer, what type of assistance is available now to help people dig out from under this?
Yeah, thanks for asking. So we have a temporary assistance program. It's short term. It was a one-time funding that came out of ARPA, and it's available to essentially bridge that gap for customers who may be behind in bills to get to a place where they can pay them regularly.
Who is eligible?
It's any city resident with a delinquent water bill. There is a household income of 80% of AMI threshold, but it'll be most city residents who have that any delinquent bill.
In order to qualify for this, are there any other requirements that they have to go through?
There's a couple small ones. They have to attest to impact from COVID, which I think everyone had experience with. And then if there is more than $500, they have to enroll in a repayment plan. But that plan has 0% interest, it's zero cost, and we're super adjustable with terms and length. We really just want to get people to have water service.
So $500 is the max then for assistance?
Yep, it's a $500 one-time credit, goes straight to your bill.
What's the deadline to apply?
There's no deadline as far as a date, but we do have funds going quickly. So we recently expanded our household income, and we're seeing that number go down quick. So I would tell anyone if they have a delinquent bill or we think this program might assist them to apply sooner than later before it's all utilized.
Overall, how many individuals do you think you will be able to help?
We're hoping it'll be almost 2,000 residents. Even at $500, we think we can apply to 1,600, but we've seen numbers lower than that. So anywhere between 1,600 and 2,000 city residents.
I know you said this was coming from ARPA funds. Any chance that this could be funded in the future if this proves to be successful, helping people, get on some payment plans who owe more than that 500?
Absolutely. We've seen a lot of good news and good information come out of this of being able to help people. And we'd love to, have a program like this in the future if it's something we could. And then, of course, the success of this program helps dictate that, though.
Spencer, where can people find more information to apply?
They can go to our website, stlwater.com, or reach out to our customer service line at 314-771-2255. And I tell everybody to tap into our program, the Temporary Assistance Program.
All right, Spencer, thank you so much. Really appreciate your time with us this morning.
Thank you for having us.
That is Special Assistant to the Director of the St. Louis City Water Division, Spencer Gould, joining us this morning here on KMOX. Again, that number is 314-771-2255, or you can visit stlwater.com. It's now 8:27. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating, Air Conditioning, Electrical, and Plumbing.
It's time for a $98 furnace tune-up.
Well, as I get older, it's even more important that I take care of my eyes. I've already seen some changes due to age. You've probably heard me about a scare I had a while back. That's why I see Dr. Greg Birdie at Ophthalmology Associates. You can call 314-966-5000 or go to youridoc.com to find out more. I'm one of those people that I've worn glasses almost as long as I can remember. Preschool is actually when I got my first pair of glasses. So you can imagine over the years, I've been to a lot of eye doctors. And because I have a challenging prescription and I have some family history of things like glaucoma, I want to make sure that I have good screening. Every visit, I get a thorough screening at Ophthalmology Associates. Dr. Birdie always takes time to walk me through what he's seeing with my eyes and the tests and the images that he looks at. And then we've also talked a lot about what we need to watch for in the future, and he has a plan for how we'll attack it if I do start to have some problems. You can have that same care when you call Ophthalmology Associates at 314-966-5000 or go to youridoc.com. The doctors of Ophthalmology Associates are Doctors Greg Birdie, Ranjan Malhotra, Robert Brusati, and Andy Royer. Again, that number, 314-966-5000.
I'm Bob Burke, founder and chairman of Burke America Parts Group, a family of brands that includes RepairClinic.com, an appliance and HVAC parts solution company that's grown into an international brand. Before AmericanEagle.com, we partially launched a new technology platform developed by another firm. American Eagle helped take our technology to a whole new level with digital marketing, software development, and business insights into our key markets, appliances, HVAC, and outdoor power equipment, and did so both on time and on budget. AmericanEagle.com has the resources, experience, and talent needed to produce solutions. Our new technology platform, developed by AmericanEagle.com, has produced tremendous results with higher traffic, conversion, engagement, and online revenue. If you have any home repairs you need to take care of, check us out at RepairClinic.com. If you need a world-class website or technology project, then I would highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Call AmericanEagle.com at 773-NETWORK. That's AmericanEagle.com, 773-NETWORK.
It's a great time, if there's ever a great time, to purchase a furnace or an air conditioner. I know it's winter. We got some great pricing. You can get 0% financing. So if you have been told that you need a new furnace, definitely give me a call. I could probably save you lots of money. Get a second opinion. Call me. Next day installs for your furnace so you won't be without heat. Very long. A furnace average install about 2-3 hours for a furnace. So not a big issue to do it now. And like I said, great pricing. So if that's you, call me. It's Bart Inman. One easy number, Missouri and Illinois. Just the easiest number. And there's one. 314-293-2600. Again, 314-293-2600. Or on the internet, it is Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com. God bless.
8:30 Total Information AM here on KMOX. We may be done with extreme cold this winter. AccuWeather's Paul Pastelak will join me next. First, let's get an update on the roads with Frank Ladd. He is in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, we're accident-free at this point, Megan, but we do have a couple stalls to pay attention to. This one's causing you a little bit of a slowdown ramping onto westbound Highway 44. It's from southbound 55 to ramp onto westbound Highway 44. Not reportedly blocking a traffic lane, but I'm seeing a little bit of a slowdown there, as well as a stall southbound 170 just before Highway 70. The right shoulder and mainly that right lane partially blocked there due to a stall. Other than that, thinning out northbound on Highway 270 continues to get better now north of Big Bend, making your way past Manchester all the way up through to Highway 64. Our next traffic update at 8:40. Frank Ladd, the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
From the Saliga Heating and Cooling Weather Desk, we'll see some sun and some clouds today, a high of 55 degrees. Partly to mostly cloudy tonight, a low of 35. And then more sun than clouds tomorrow with a warmer afternoon. We're expecting a high of 63. Right now, sunny skies, 34 degrees downtown at the Arch. Experts say the worst of the winter cold is likely over. Let's get more from AccuWeather lead long-range expert Paul Pastelak. Paul, what are your predictions for the rest of the winter?
Yeah, I believe that the worst of the cold that we've seen here in episodes during the course of the winter season has exited the playing field, but it doesn't mean we still can't get cold, and we're still watching some storms down the road. The pattern has changed where a lot of storminess now is coming into the west coast, and those storms are ejecting out to the east, but what's happening is most of the cold now is getting locked up in northwest Canada, coming down into the west rather than coming directly at us. But we'll get some cold behind these systems from time to time the rest of February, and then as we get into March, you may get a little chilly shot here and there, but I think more of a milder trend.
What are you thinking about the impact that the little bit warmer temperatures could have on snow and ice melt? And I'm thinking of the rivers that come through Missouri and Illinois.
It's already started. In Nebraska, they're having some ice jam issues right now and some river flooding going on there. And with the snow melt now across Illinois, Iowa, and southern Minnesota with these warm-ups, definitely a big threat here in a little earlier than usual. And that's the case here, that we're going to be having to see immediate action taking place here the rest of February into March for the possibility of some river flooding. It's amazing because we're in a drought. We're in a severe drought. The rivers have been low, and now here we are talking about flooding.
And Paul, we just talked about that the last time that I spoke with you about the longer range forecast, the thought of drought conditions in this region. Has there been enough snow and other precipitation to help with some of that?
I think a little bit, but not a whole lot. We didn't get enough here. I mean, we ended up with about 18.5 inches as of today, and our range was actually pretty good. I think we were in the 16 to 20 forecasted, but we could have used more. I think the rivers will come up. That's a good sign. We need moisture in the ground, and I think we're going to see a big reversal this spring right here in our neck of the woods. This whole area is going to see a big change. We should see an increase of moisture starting here in February and continuing all the way into the spring season.
Are there any other regions of the country, though, that aren't as lucky?
As far as getting rainfall goes?
Rainfall and drought, yeah.
Yes, the Southwest. They're going to get a little bit of an episode here, a couple systems coming through over the next couple of weeks, but it's not nearly enough. They're in bad shape. The river levels are low. The reservoirs are low in the Southwest. Lake Mead is going to drop off big time if it hasn't already. It's going to look very ugly in the Southwest. Going into the spring, they're going to have a lot of moisture, and they're going to have some major water restrictions taking place there.
AccuWeather lead long-range expert Paul Pastelok, thanks so much for your time.
You're welcome, Megan.
Can I take your coat?
Oh, you noticed. Yeah, I found it on eBay from a seller in Vegas. Pre-loved and perfect. She listed it and jackpot. Italian leather, classic trench silhouette. And did you see the braided buckle?
Hang on to your claim ticket.
Oh, I'll hang on to this forever. Have you been on eBay? There's so many finds. And I bet that diving watch would sell fast. Just saying.
Find what you love, sell what you don't. eBay. Things people love.
At the UPS Store, we know being a small business owner means holiday time is still go time. Still get those orders shipped time. And still re-up on stamps and supplies time. That's why this upcoming holiday, while others close up shop, we'll be open. And happy to help you keep being unstoppable. Come into your local store today. Most locations are independently owned. Product, services, pricing, and hours of operation may vary. See Center for details. The UPS Store. Be unstoppable.
Your Money Report now, sponsored by Eamon Gantner and Capriano Elder Law Attorneys. Here's Bloomberg's Courtney Donahoe.
Tensions between American Airlines and its workers are boiling over. The carrier's flight attendants will hold a protest today outside the company's headquarters in Fort Worth, Texas. They want CEO Robert Isom to step down, blaming management for disappointing financial results. Last week, American pilots called for a meeting with the company's board to address its performance. United and Delta have been posting higher margins for years. Turning to trading, stock futures are edging higher, pointing to gains on Wall Street. Traders are keeping a close eye on key economic data. Jobs numbers yesterday came in surprisingly strong, and attention now turns to tomorrow's inflation report. And Apple's long-planned upgrade to its Siri virtual assistant has run into a few snags during testing in recent weeks. After planning to include the new capabilities in an operating system update slated for next month, sources tell us Apple is now working to spread them out over future versions. Courtney Donahoe, Bloomberg Radio.
This is Tom Ackerman. I love talking about Genesis of St. Charles. They are located at 5601 Veterans Memorial Parkway. I can still remember the first time I walked in, right off Mid-Rivers Mall Drive and I-70, and was blown away. I had heard about all the work they put into building it. The first standalone Genesis dealership in the state of Missouri. It's still the only one, and it's the number one Genesis dealer in the state of Missouri. They have a fleet of brand new, good-looking Genesis vehicles for you to test drive today. Just ask the general manager, Shay, to show you around, and they'll have everything ready for you at Genesis of St. Charles. You want to do even better, go on their website, genesisofstcharles.com, and you can unlock the E-price. When you do that, no games, no gimmicks, just upfront pricing. You'll know you can also get the best for your trade at Genesis of St. Charles. It all starts at genesisofstcharles.com, Genesis of St. Charles.
St. Louis has a voice.
KMOX, the voice of St. Louis.
That voice has shared our stories from headline to history.
This is Harry Carey from the beautiful new Busch Memorial Stadium.
From moment to memory.
The chase is on.
Among those voices, Bruce Bradley.
I felt better when Jimmy Carter was president, knowing that Rosalind Carter was around saying, now, Jimmy.
Working at KMOX is an honor and a responsibility to represent this community. It's one we take seriously. KMOX, the voice of St. Louis.
If you owe back taxes, listen carefully to rule number 1. Never go up against the IRS alone. They're cracking down, freezing bank accounts, garnishing paychecks, canceling passports. Even your home or business could be at risk. But here's what they don't tell you. The IRS has powerful tax relief programs that could save you thousands if you qualify. That's why smart people call Optima Tax Relief, America's #1 tax resolution firm. Nobody knows these programs like the experts at Optima. Their team of tax attorneys and licensed professionals have resolved over $2 billion in tax debt for people just like you. The IRS is not stopping, so don't wait and don't take them on alone. For tax help you need, for tax help you can trust, call Optima today for a free consultation.
Call 800-348-0269. 800-348-0269. 800-348-0269.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Glover here for my friends at Cantor Injury Law. Cantor is local, and we're here doing the work every day. We're right here in St. Louis, and we're ready to fight for you. CantorInjuryLaw.com or call 314-628-9999.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be solely based on advertisements.
This is 104.1 FM KMOX. Here's what's happening. A new AP NORC poll finds that about 6 in 10 U.S. adults believe President Trump has gone too far in sending federal immigration agents into U.S. cities. South Korea's spy agency says it believes the teenage daughter of North Korean leader Kim Jong-un is close to being designated as the country's future leader. And McDonald's focus on value is paying off. The fast food giant said Wednesday its global same-store sales jumped 5.7% in the October to December period, a much better return than analysts were expecting. Up next on Total Information AM, we're going to ask, does Olympic apparel really give athletes an edge in competition? First, though, let's see if we can give you an edge on the roads to get to work. Frank Ladd is in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Oh, watch out for a disabled vehicle southbound 55 just south of Arsenal. It's over on the right shoulder, but we've got emergency crews on the scene there. It sounded like he had hit a pothole in that stretch, so pay attention to if you're making your way southbound on 55 near Arsenal. Other than that, not bad this afternoon, or this morning, I should say, headed northbound on Highway 270. We are thinning out, headed towards Manchester Road. North there, he's a little sluggish on northbound 270 up through about Highway 64. And into downtown St. Louis, we are delay-free westbound 5564 crossing the Poplar Street Bridge, westbound Highway 70 crossing the Musial. I'm Frank Ladd with traffic in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Looks like we'll have a mix of clouds and sun today, a high 55, partly to mostly cloudy tonight with a low of 35. Right now, sunny 34 downtown at the Arch. Thanks for listening to Total Information AM. I'm Megan Lynch. How much of an edge can aerodynamics give Winter Olympic athletes? Let's get some insight now from Mark McQuilling, professor of aerospace and mechanical engineering at St. Louis University. He also runs the Fluid Systems Lab at SLU. Thanks for joining me.
My pleasure. Happy to be here.
So I suppose a lot of this is just an issue of lift and drag and other things that can impact these athletes. But does it really make that much of a difference, the equipment or the apparel that they wear?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. You know, anytime a country has an athlete that has the potential to medal, they will look at every single rule out there and see how they can stretch the performance of their athletes, right? I know you asked about aerodynamics, but I think one of the more famous examples in recent history is Michael Phelps in 2008, right? He won 8 gold medals at the 2008 Olympics. And he did that with a Speedo, very engineered wetsuit. And I think they might have even partnered with some NASA engineers to do some testing, right? To where the certain suit that he had was a full body suit made of a rubber-like substance. So it's not even a textile type substance, right? Made of a rubber-like substance that reduced the drag. It compressed his body in such a way that even his muscles didn't experience the same vibration due to the swimming motion. And it reduced the drag. And when they put on those suits, which sometimes took up to an hour, by the way, to even put on his suit, right? It would trap little bitty air bubbles inside that suit due to the rubber-like construction, which gave him a little bit more buoyancy that held him out of the water a little bit more, even a fraction of a bit more, right? That allowed him to swim with less drag. And he obviously won 8 gold medals, was dominating in the 2008 Olympics. The same type of wetsuit was used a year later at the World Championships in Rome, where 43 world records were beaten or broken due to the use of these types of suits. And by 2011, they were banned, right? And then they had very specific rules of the type of texture, the fabric you can use. Now, if you notice the swimming, they can't have full body wetsuits anymore. Even the seams, Megan, even the stitching seams, there's very specific rules on how those seams can be, because they could more or less induce more or less oscillations in the flow right next to the body, which could give them a competitive advantage.
I think it was really interesting. I was reading an article that was comparing some of the fabrics and materials that are used to golf balls. You know, you think of something being like slick and that being better, but this was talking about how those little pockets in the golf balls and how they've replicated that. Could you explain how that works?
So golf balls have dimples on them, right? I think that would be an awesome job, by the way, to be an aerodynamicist for a golf ball company. So you see this cup I have in my hand, right? It has a round surface here, and it's all the way around, like a golf ball. You can imagine that being a sphere, right? So as the flow comes in one direction, all the kinetic energy, all the velocity-based flow, so speed, right, creates a really high pressure in the front as that flow interacts with the front of the surface. And as it goes around the surface, once it reaches an inflection point in the geometry where the curvature changes and the cross-sectional area starts to decrease, that can produce different flow patterns that can create a wake, like when you see a boat in the water, there's a wake behind them. The bigger the wake, the lower the pressure behind the body. So if you think high pressure in the front, lower pressure due to the wake in the back, right? That creates an overall bigger drag force. What those dimples in the golf ball does is it puts little oscillations in the flow really near the surface, which decreases the size of the wake in the back. It actually induces a transition to a turbulent type of flow that can reduce the size of the wake and produce less overall drag. So that's exactly right. And there's even in the Olympics, some of the suits that they wear nowadays have little what they call transition strips on the sides, right? Before that flow goes across the body and can create a big wake. If they have little transition strips on the side of their suit, it can decrease the size of the wake behind their body and produce less drag.
Let's talk about the wake and the drag when it comes to a sport like speed skating, where I understand that a lot of times the competitors try to get fairly close to the leader because it benefits them because that leader is taking all the drag.
That's a phenomenon called drafting. And just like we were saying with the golf ball example, on the leading surface, the leading edge of the surface is a really high pressure. So if I'm drafting someone, right, if I'm behind them, I don't have all that air directly impacting me. So I can conserve energy while I'm going nearly the same speed. And then kind of, if I want to overtake the lead person in the race, I can just get another energy boost and overcome them, because for a short time, there's less drag on me behind them. Right? It's the same thing that I don't know if you've seen semi trucks these days. Sometimes they have these surfaces in between the wheels. That's so that air pressure doesn't build up on the front of the wheels and create more drag as they're going down the interstate. It might be a minuscule difference, but over a long time driving over the interstate, it can really save them a lot of gas. Same kinds of things can happen in athletic suits and even the positions of the athletes. You know, again, if a country has an athlete that has the potential to medal, they'll stick them in a harness and put them in a wind tunnel to help teach those athletes how to position their body right. Like those downhill ski jumpers that have gotten some attention lately, right? They'll put some harnesses on those guys and figure out their exact body position that gives them more lift and less drag.
So let's talk about ski jump. We don't want to get too graphic with it, but I understand recently there have been some countries that have been adding a little bit of extra fabric, just minute amounts to those suits, and that's actually acted like a flap, I kind of think of like a flying squirrel or an airplane with the flaps.
You are exactly right, Megan. You are exactly right. Even a few millimeters of extra fabric can give them over the entire distance of the jump, a few feet, maybe a few meters extra length in their jump. So even just a few millimeters could have a significant impact at the speeds and the distances these athletes can achieve. It really can matter.
Well, Mark, thank you so much. Really appreciate your insight on this.
My pleasure. It's been fun.
That is Mark McClilling. He's professor of aerospace and mechanical engineering at SLU. It is now 8:48. Still ahead on Total Information AM. Tomorrow is Hardee's Rise and Shine for Heat Day. That's where you can get your sausage or egg biscuits for $1 and help people that need assistance heating and cooling their homes. We're going to talk more about it with board member Mark Kern next.
Hey, Cardinal Cowboy here. Who would have thought a car crash would have led to charities, TV shows, and cheering with the best fans in the world? I'm thankful for every day. And so are my friends at Renner Garage Door. They've been turning garage doors from zero to hero since 1966. With help from trusted brands like Delden, Amar, and LiftMaster, honest family-style service you can count on. So giddy up and get your free repair or replacement quote today. Giddy up!
RENNER, RENNER.
Hey, St. Louis City SC fans, mark your calendars now. The Boys in Red return to Energizer Park to kick off Season 4 Saturday, February 21st. And you could be there for the dawn of a new golden era of St. Louis soccer. Go to stlcitysc.com/tickets and reserve your seat now for the MLS home opener versus Charlotte FC. Limited quantities remain. See you soon, St. Louis.
Join Mark Patrick Hypnosis. Lose the weight or stop smoking. Guaranteed only $59.99. Saturday, March 7th at the Residence Inn by Marriott, St. Louis Westport in St. Louis. Weight loss hypnosis starts at 11 a.m. Registration at 10:30 a.m. Stop smoking starts at 2 p.m. Registration 1:30 p.m.
Every spring brings promises, and every spring delivers surprises. This year, the Cardinals are writing a new story, and there will be plenty of surprises. Matt Pauley is in Jupiter with inside access to Camp Cardinals.
Presented by St. Louis Composting. Composting, growing gardens and making memories. And Happy Roof. We always create happy endings.
From breakout performances to roster revelations, get reports throughout the day on the voice of the Cardinals. KMOX.
Thanks for listening to Total Information AM here on 104.1 FM KMOX. I'm Megan Lynch. Plan for breakfast on the go tomorrow. Friday is the 26th annual Hardee's Rise and Shine for Heat event where you can get sausage or egg biscuits for just $1. It benefits Heat Up St. Louis. And here to tell us more, Belleville's Mark Kern, longtime board member for heatupstlouis.org. Mark, thanks for coming on to KMOX.
Hey, it's great to be here.
Could you tell our listeners more about the mission of Heat Up St. Louis?
Yes. Well, for many, many years, people on fixed incomes, which include, our seniors and our physically disabled in our community, they have great struggles keeping up with cost of housing and energy and medicine and food. And so what happens is they many times are in danger of losing housing or losing a place to live because they can't keep up with their power bills. And so we partner with Ameren and Commerce Bank and everyone out there and Hardee's, of course, to put together this fundraiser that then helps these people in their time of need and helps pay those power bills.
What are you hearing? Is the need even greater this year?
The need is greater this year. There's been a real uptick in the cost of energy. In Illinois, I know for sure with my own power bill, as well as the other costs, food and things, everything is really up. And so it's forced a lot of people to have to make choices. That and Mother Nature came in with a huge cold spell and snowstorm, which, people have to keep their heat on, not only for themselves, but to keep their pipes from freezing and keep their homes so they can be habitable. So this was kind of a no pun intended, a perfect storm for the need for Heat Up St. Louis.
So Mark, let's talk about Hardee's Rise and Shine. Is this the 26th year now?
I believe so.
How much does this event raise each year?
I think it's raised over $52 million over the years. So I don't know that exact amount, but whatever it is, we're going to raise more this year than we did last year.
So when people go to a Hardee's, what are they going to see tomorrow?
So they will see, depending on which Hardy they go to, about 500 volunteers throughout the area will be standing outside with cans and aprons. And they'll be asking for donations, but $1 will buy you a sausage and egg biscuit, which is a heck of a bargain. And as we all know, they're really, really great to eat. It's an easy way to help people that really need help. Hardee's donates all the money to Heat Up St. Louis, and it makes a huge difference in the community.
I understand that you can do bulk orders for an office as well. How's that work?
So up until, I think, at noon today, if they go online at heatupstlouis.org, they can purchase 20 or more of the sausage and egg biscuits for $1 each, and then they can pick them up within 24 hours. So it's a real easy, convenient way to be very popular in your office or wherever you want to drop them off. A local police department or fire department or emergency services department certainly would be appreciative.
And a lot of Hardee's locations in Illinois, where you and I both live, if people walk in and they can donate more than just buying a couple of biscuits, there's the canisters, but there's also, I understand, a QR code on those canisters that the volunteers will have.
That's true. So people can take advantage of technology today to even do more. If they don't happen to have the cash at the time, they can go back and help out people who just need a little boost, a little help to stay in their homes and to stay warm in the wintertime.
Talking about a boost, you mentioned the partners that are involved in this effort with heatupstlouis.org. Tell us a little bit about their commitment to this effort.
Well, they're there every year. Hardee's, of course, is the big name in it, and they put all their employees are really invested. If you go into a Hardee's and you see the kitchens, the staff is just working to put all these sandwiches together. They have piles of sausage and egg biscuits piled up, waiting for people to come through because they know how popular it is, and they have to get there extra early, and they have to do a yeoman's job to be able to get the product out, because that's how the main bulk of the money is raised, and so they're right there at the window and in the kitchen, working hard.
And thanks as well to Commerce Bank and Ameren, who are co-sponsors and help get everything together for this as well.
Yeah, they're there every year, that's for sure, and they present big checks to the organization also.
Well, Mark, thank you so much, and we'll send people your way. It is Heat Up St. Louis annual Rise and Shine for Heat benefit, the 26th annual, 6 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. Anything else you want folks to know, Mark?
The money goes to both sides of the state, and are both states, and all in this area. It's all used in this area, and so let's get out there and help people. This year, it's especially important.
Mark, thanks so much. Appreciate your time.
Thank you. I'll see you.
All right. That is Mark Kern. HeatUpStLouis.org is the place to go. And of course, drive through your Hardee's 6 a.m. until 10:30 a.m. tomorrow morning.
Time now for today's Spotlight on Money, sponsored by Lenseek.
Retailers love Valentine's Day. The National Retail Federation predicts we will spend $29 billion on Valentine's Day. Bob Phibbs is the CEO of the Retail Doctor. He says the upper income bracket is leading the way.
Higher households who are expanding their gift list to include coworkers or people they do services for them, and even their pets.
I'm Rob Hart.
Last month, my business cash flow got tight. Sales were slow. Invoices were late, and payroll was coming fast. My business is everything, and people rely on me. I can't let them down. I applied online at lenseek.com and had business funding in 24 hours.
Business moves fast. Don't wait until it's too late. Whether it's lines of credit, term loans, working capital funding, or revenue-based financing, LendSeek is open for business. Apply now at lendseek.com.
Because we have lawyers in all 50 states, I see lots of lawyers' ads. Most seem to be bragging on results, but are they true or misleading? For example, in some cases, a firm may try a case even though the at-fault party has no lawyer, then brag in the ad about their results. My son Matt got one for nearly $50 million, but we never collected one dime. Some lawyers may say they got a result even though they were sitting second chair at a firm like mine, and even though they had little to do with it. Happens all the time. All that glitters is not gold. At Morgan & Morgan, our results are real. Visit forthepeople.com and go to settlements and verdicts to see for yourself what your case may be worth before you hire a law firm. Do your homework. Fact check. It's easy and too important not to. Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com.
Injured? Dial Pound Law or visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Jefferson Starship, the Runaway Again Tour. Saturday, September 26th, the Family Arena. Also featuring Atlanta Rhythm Section, Firefall, and Orleans. Reserve seats on sale Friday at noon at the Carroll House Furniture box office at the Family Arena or Ticketmaster. Jefferson Starship, featuring Atlanta Rhythm Section, Firefall, and Orleans. Jefferson Starship, the Runaway Again Tour. Saturday, September 26th, the Family Arena. Also featuring Atlanta Rhythm Section, Firefall, and Orleans. Reserve seats on sale now at the Carroll House Furniture box office at the Family Arena or Ticketmaster. Jefferson Starship, featuring Atlanta Rhythm Section, Firefall, and Orleans.
Hey guys, it's Dave from The Glover Show, trying to explain The Glover Show. So when I was a younger man, I used to go to happy hour almost every night, and I loved it. And I've always thought of my show as being like happy hour. It's always interesting. It's often silly, but not always. You know, there are real things to talk about. I am amongst friends, politics, and personal things. So that's what it is, really. It's happy hour for thousands of us every day between 1 p.m. and 5 p.m. And I hope you'll tune in and join the happy hour.
Let's check the roads with Frank Ladd in the Overhead Door Company of St. Louis Traffic Center.
Well, we've thinned out after what was really an uneventful morning rush hour. Northbound 270 delay free, 55 through 44 through Highway 64. Just a pocket of volume southbound on 170 ramping onto eastbound Highway 64. Got some road work overnight starting tonight at 7th